Hey gang, we'll be starting the stream in a second here. As usual, of course, WoW decided to crash on us right as we got set up for the stream. Which is always fun. All right, and welcome to the Adral Show, everybody. So for today's stream, we finally have the, as I die right at the start of the stream. I guess if any of you have watched my previous streams, you know that that's sort of par for the course. In any case, for today's stream, we're going to be checking out the Radiant Echoes War Within launch event. Now, as you can tell, I've already started getting some of my characters through here. We're gonna hop on to some characters on both accounts. Hopefully we can catch this round without getting ganked too much. I forgot to switch off war mode on this character. But in any case, we have a bunch of new things with the resets last, I guess they were yesterday for US servers, and I guess they're gonna be today for European servers. We now have not only the Radiant Echoes event live, but we also have the Warbank system live, which is something that we're going to take a look at both of those features on today's stream. Just give you some of my thoughts, give you some of the best practices. I've already gone through a couple of the events last evening on a handful of characters, already leveled, I think 3 characters in all to level 70. The event leveling is as fast as promised. It was definitely worth waiting. I had been experimenting with some other leveling methods to get characters from 60 to 70 that also worked pretty well, but on the whole, I think the Radiant Echoes is probably still going to be just a smidge faster, and the reason for that is just because of the fact that you can sort of do it a bit more passively. You can sort of just form a group and run around tagging mobs and get about a level every half an hour or so, I would say, which is not too bad actually. The previous method that I was using that was also pretty quick and may still be quicker if you're willing to play your characters a bit more actively, or if you care less about farming up the event currency, which there is a case to be made for that as well, which I'll get into. Just trying to get this character over to the event starting section as quickly as possible. If you haven't played the event yet, it's basically critical that you get to the event zone more or less within the first couple of minutes, or you are going to miss the event. For whatever reason, they have tuned this to be very, very rewarding in the first like 3 or 4 minutes of the event going live, and then you have to basically wait an hour and a half for anything else of note to happen. So, don't know how we feel about that entirely, but I mean, it is what it is, right? It looks like most of the characters that I'm trying to get over to the event have already completed the Searing Gorge part of it, unfortunately, so we are a little bit unhappy about that. All right, let's log on to one of these other alts and let's see how far we can get with a level 10. But essentially, the Radiant Echoes event is now live every 90 minutes. It will cycle through 3 different zones. The 3 zones that the event happens in are the Searing Gorge, which is right here in the Eastern Kingdoms. You also have it go live in Dustwallow Marsh, which is here in Kalimdor. And then lastly, it'll also cycle through Dragonflight, which is, of course, in Northrend, which, if my map will load, yeah, right here in Northrend, in Dragonflight. Now, basically what happens is once the event is live, apologies for the slightly scuffed stream start. I was literally just trying to get characters over here as quick as possible, seeing as how the event happens every 90 minutes. Like I said, it is kind of critical that you get your characters positioned as soon as possible, and I didn't want to risk us having to wait an additional 90 minutes. We will catch another round of the event. I'm wondering if we have already actually missed potentially this event. We don't have quest credit on this quest, and I don't think we picked up the other quest. We may have already missed the event. That's literally just how quick it is, right? The event literally happens in less than 5 minutes. So unless you're there in like seconds, good luck. You're probably not going to get much in the way of rewards. We will go over the things that you can sort of farm around the clock. So let's see if anyone else here in... Okay, there we go. We did manage to catch it. I don't think we'll be able to get this character over quite in time. I realize if you're just joining us and you have no idea what's going on with the Radiant Echoes event, this may be a bit confusing. I promise I will explain everything in just a second here. I'm just trying to get as many characters over here as possible so that hopefully we can already buy one of the mounts on this stream itself. And we can sort of play around with what that looks like and all that fun stuff. But essentially what you'll do is you will pick up a quest. You'll then need to port over to Dalaran, and this is the Legion version of Dalaran. After which you will pick up a quest both in Dalaran. You'll pick up a quest in Dalaran, but then you also need to pick up another quest in the zone as well once you land. Now, in order to do that, what you will need to do is those are specific to the individual zones. So the Searing Gorge has a quest that you can complete weekly. Dragonflight has a quest that you can complete weekly, and then what do you call it? Dustwallow Marsh also has a quest that you can complete weekly. Now, it looks like these quests do give the rewards account-wide. So, essentially, you'll fly to the zone once the event is live. I would recommend getting an add-on like Radiant Echoes Timer. And basically, you will then need to port to Dalaran, and it's super easy to get to Dalaran right now. I'll probably show you on another character. It looks like we did miss the event on this character, which is kind of unfortunate, but we'll just have them parked here so that they can take advantage of it the next time it's up. In any case, oh, or have they maybe not? Maybe on this realm, it looks like it still says 1 memory remaining. This character is on a slightly less populated server, so it is very possible that they're able to actually catch the rewards here. Low pop servers are definitely going to have an easier time of this. If you have alts on low pop servers, it's probably even worth logging onto your main account, like logging onto your main high pop server, let's say, and completing the event then. And then if you're able to time yourself well enough, you may be able to even log off and complete it on a second character. Essentially, the absolute best way to farm the currency is going to be to complete the weekly quests on each of your characters. The reason being is that completing the quest itself gives you 1,500 of the Radiant Echoes currency. as well as killing the main boss, which is what you need to do in order to complete the event, will give you another 500 of these residual memories. Now, that means per character that you're able to get through the event, once per 90 minutes right now, the cooldown timer will reduce to an hour from, I believe, next week or potentially the week after. And then in the last week or two of the event, the respawn timer will be at 30 minutes. So basically every 30 minutes you'll be able to take a character through this event. And so depending on how you like to play, you may just want to wait until then, though I would say if you can, or if you work from home or it's a weekend or something like that, it is definitely worth it to get through the event every 90 minutes or so on at least 1 or 2 characters, depending on how many accounts you have. You may or may not be able to do that. One of the things that I do want to test out later on today's stream is we're going to try doing this on a starter account. I want to see if we're able to actually get the rewards on a starter account, but more importantly, if we're able to actually transfer the currency off of a starter account character. What I mean by that is the Radiant Echoes, the residual memories currency that you get as a reward from completing the quests and from taking out the boss and completing the different stages of the event, are account wide. So basically they're warband wide currencies. Rather, they're not warband wide currencies like, say, Trader's Tender, where everyone pulls from the same pool. They are transferable. And what that means is basically whichever character you want to buy a reward on, you can come over to their currency tab, click on residual memories, hit this transfer button, and then basically transfer over all of the currency you have on your alts to that specific character. And basically that means that you can easily pool up enough of these residual memories on whichever character you want to actually buy all of your rewards on. Now, we'll look at the rewards in a second, but let me first just quickly cover what the actual rewards from doing the event are. So first and foremost, you have this quest called, the name of the quest changes depending on which zone it is, but there's 3 of these quests. You can complete them once a week, and they give you 1.5k residual memories. They'll also give you a minuscule amount of XP. Well, not a minuscule amount of XP, actually, considering how much we actually need to level this character. It's a minor bit of XP. Let's put it that way. It's not a significant amount of XP, but not nothing. But this isn't going to be where the bulk of your XP for the event comes from in any case. In order to complete this quest, you'll need to zone into whichever zone has the active. I think it's called. I think the actual thing is just called is actually called Radiant Echoes. I may be mistaken there, but basically you'll need to check your map. Aside from that, I would recommend getting an add-on called, and let me just pull that up because of course it can't be an Adrel show stream unless we're tinkering around with our add-ons, and it's literally just called, I downloaded it literally seconds before the stream went live, actually while my WoW was crashing on me. I think I was trying to do too many things all at once. Where is it? All right, let's hop back onto CurseForge and see if we can't pull it up. But essentially, there's an add-on that will give you a little pop-up notification that will tell you when the next echoes are up. In either case, Blizzard has actually been really good about this event. I'm happy to say that they've actually really put a lot of effort into this for one of these pre-expansion events, I guess. In the past, it's sort of been a situation where they wouldn't really put too much effort into it, and I don't say that to cast aside the hard work that the Blizzard devs are putting in. I just feel like they've done a little bit more of this event, which I'm extremely thankful for, in that not only have they done a great job of actually having very clear labeling as to which zones have the Radiant Echoes event going on. If we look at the full-size map here, I'm actually located just on top of it. If we do this on a character that isn't in the zone, it may be a little bit clearer. Well, in either case, you can basically mouse over the map and check through your map wherever in the world you are. You can check using the add-on that is called, and let's see if I can find it this time around on this character, because I may not have it activated on the other account, which is maybe why it's not showing up there. I believe it's literally just called Radiant Echoes Tracker or something like that. I'm sure there's some weak auras out there that you can grab that'll do the same thing as well. It's this guy right here, Zames 2 TV Event Timer. Now, what that add-on will do is it'll just pop up and give you a notification of when the add-on of when the next event is about to start. And basically then what you will need to do is you'll need to make your way to Dalaran. Now you can either do that by using the Dalaran Hearthstone toy, which is warband wide, and so you can just come over to your toy box, search for it, and if you did any Legion content, you should already have this. If you haven't done it, there's a super quick quest line that you can get through in order to complete it. But handily, Blizzard has actually just put a portal for us directly to Legion Dalaran in Orgrimmar itself, and I'll show you where that's located. We may also take a look at where the Alliance one is located, just so it's completely clear there. But essentially, then you will follow that portal. You will run into the center chapel of Dalaran, and then you will basically I think it'll probably be easier to explain this by actually going through there. We're a little bit disjointed again. Apologies, folks. Let's actually head over to Orgrimmar, and then we'll go through everything else. How about that? All right. So, first things first. Let's hearth back to the Valley of Honor, and I'll show you guys exactly what the path would be. And we'll again be doing this later on stream. I think in about 90 minutes or so, there should be another one of these events running. In about an hour and 20 minutes, I think is what the timer right there on screen said. In any case, so let's say you're just starting the event. I got a favorite one of these dragon riding mounts. I love that you can now dragon ride at level 10. It's pretty awesome. If you haven't tried it out yet, it's definitely gonna make leveling up any other alts even easier, but with how easy it is to level in the event, it's I don't think you should probably be spending too much of your time questing in any case. First and foremost, welcome to everyone who's watching us live. Truly do appreciate it. I see we have a couple people on Twitch. I see we have some people on YouTube as well. Thank you so much for watching live. If you are watching live, drop a message in chat. Let me know how it's going. Let me know if you've played around with the event just yet, or if you're still waiting on it. If you have any questions, if you have any things that were unclear about how the event works, or what the rewards are and things like that. We will be looking at everything on this stream. Now that the event timer is over and we have about an hour and 20 minutes to look over everything, I promise to keep a more reasonable pace and explain things a little bit better. I think I probably should have waited until the event was over to start the stream so that the beginning of the stream wasn't as chaotic as it turned out being. I may cut it out for the video on demand later on. In any case, welcome to the Adrel Show. For today's stream, like I said, we're going to be going through the Radiant Echoes event. We're going to go through all the rewards. We're going to go through, how you complete the event, what you can do in the downtime between them to maximize not only the currency, but also the XP you're getting. We will also take a look at what I have found to be the best way to level alts during this event. That's definitely been a goal of mine for this event, and one of the things I've been very excited about regarding this event is that it is extremely fast to level characters, especially from 60 to 70, primarily because of the fact that the pre-patch itself nerfed the amount of experience required to go from 60 to 70 by 80%. So it now takes you 20% as much time. It only takes a fifth of the time to level a character from 60 to 70. That is great for someone like me who may have a lot of characters still at level 60, right, that I want at level 70 for the War Within. But I am not super keen on the idea of like actually going out and questing and doing all the different things that you would usually do to level characters. And so the Radiant Echoes event is kind of nice for that. The other side effect of that, I mean, one of the other things that I found in my testing is that actually at level 60, you can basically get about 2 levels per random dungeon. It is that quick. Now, if you're looking for the absolute fastest way to level characters from 60 to 70, I would say, especially if they're a tank or a healer, queue up for dungeons and you'll get 5 dungeons done and you will be done with getting that character to level 70, right? That said, sorry gang, just one second. We have someone spamming my chat. Gotta Gotta make sure that we get them banned. What are we doing here? Why is chat not updating? Anyway, hopefully we managed to get them banned and y'all didn't have to see that annoying little message. In any case, essentially the fastest way to level from 60 to 70 for any alts that you may still have at 60, or you may have used up the character boost. I did a little short the day before the pre-patch. I only figured this out super late, encouraging everyone to use up their level 60 tokens that you got for buying Dragonflight and that you got for buying Shadowlands and that you may have gotten from, I think they gave another one away for like one of the buy a year subscription or buy 6 months subscription or something like that. They give you a character boost for that as well, I think. But if you've used up any of those, right, you have the characters. They're not in Remix, so you can't use a super fast leveling method through Remix that we've been doing. But it's still a level 60. You still ideally want them at least level 68 so that they can pick up the War Within Professions. This event is a game changer for that, right? Of course, post the event, or if you don't want to do the event, or if you genuinely want to learn the class or learn how to play it a bit better. I mean, you're probably not going to learn a whole bunch in 5 dungeons, but that is probably going to be a little bit quicker, assuming it takes you about, I don't know, about 10 to 12 minutes to complete a Dragonflight normal mode dungeon, right? You can probably level them up in about an hour. In my testing, the Radiant Echoes event is taking about 30 minutes per level, slightly less closer to 60 and slightly more closer to 70, but you're averaging about a level every half an hour or so. So in all, what is that? That's, I mean, for 10 levels, that would be 300 minutes, which is what, like, oh, that makes it sound like it's going to take like 4 hours. Honestly, I don't think it took me quite 4 hours. I think it was closer to about maybe 2 or 3 hours to get a character from level 60 to 70, which is not particularly fast. But if you're planning on farming up the Radiant Echoes currency, the residual memories currency anyway, and by golly, if you're planning on, you know, if you're a completionist and you're planning on getting every reward, every transmog, every pet, every mount, like there's only 2 mounts, one for Alliance and one for Horde, but you are going to need an absolute boatload of the Radiant Echoes currency. Let's see if all the things has it handily here for me. World event. Nope, none of these. Expansion pre-launch. There we go. Dragonflight hidden quest. Well, no. This is the one that we want. Remembered Amulet. Remembrance Amul. How do we do this? I think we do /ATT and then we link the currency and it'll tell us what the total we need is. All right, so we haven't spent any of our residual memories just yet on my account. Yeah, so totally you would need about 301,000 of this currency. Now, the acquisition rates are super slow, right? The main sources of this currency are going to be each of the events basically give you, well, let's start from the highest to the lowest. The highest amount you'll get is for completing this quest in each zone that you can do once a week per character, which will give you 1,500 residual memories. Now, in order to complete the event, in order to complete the quest, you'll need to take out the boss. The boss itself will drop 500 residual memories. So that means just by taking a character for the first time through each of the zone's events, you will get around 2,000, a little bit more than that, slightly over 2,000 residual memories, right? That is the most effective way to farm up this currency. 2,000 may not sound like a lot, especially since 2,000 is basically just one piece of gear, and the gear that drops from the event is if we swap over to an actual level 70 character, and we can see some of the event loot some of the stuff that we actually got from the event here, right? It drops at eye level 480, which is great for characters. Now, I suppose let's complete the other sources of the residual memories before we go over to the other rewards that you get from completing the event as well. Now, the second way that you can get residual memories is that prior to the boss spawning, there will be there's 2 other phases. So essentially each event, when you zone in, you will have 3 phases that the event goes through. The first one has to do with just taking out a mob that's in the center. I believe that gives you 100 residual memories. The second one involves flying around to 6 different points on the map and completing little mini events in each of those, and each of those should give you 100 as well. Again, if you're playing on a lower pop server or cluster, you're going to have a better time with that and you'll be able to complete more of those sub-events. If you're like me and you're playing on a full server, right? I play on Illidan, North America, which is one of the fullest servers in the world. And so I'm lucky if I manage to get to one of those sub-events. So essentially, I'm getting only about 100 to 200 residual memories from those sub-events per time that I take a character there. But if you're playing on a less populated server, or if you have alts on a less populated server, you know, you can definitely get probably close to around 2,700 residual memories for each character that you take through the event, just flying around and, you know, contributing to each of those events and completing different parts of the events. And that's basically the best, like, one-time, time-gated sources. The other thing you can do is in between those events, you can run around tagging mobs, and each of those mobs will drop 1 residual memory if they're a regular mob, and 5 residual memories if they're an elite mob. Now, that is A, not a lot of fun, and B, not a great way to farm them, because let's say you want to buy a single piece of gear, you would basically need to tag, and if you're doing it alone, you would also need to kill, right, 2,000 mobs per piece of gear, which, however fast you're blasting through mobs, it's gonna take you a while, right? And presumably you're doing this on a character that you're trying to gear up, so you probably aren't gonna be able to take down level 70 mobs all that quick to begin with. The other unfortunate thing is that you don't get credit, in terms of residual memories at least, for just being in a party with people. It's not an item that you loot, it's just given to you. You just get the currency when the mob dies. And so as a result, you do need to actively run around tagging mobs in order to get residual memories. Now, in my experience, that generally means it's a little bit more efficient, or, you know what, we'll come over to XP in a second, but essentially the best way to farm up this currency, and like I'm saying, if you want to collect everything, you're going to need a boatload of it, right? 301,000 residual memories at least, probably a little bit more, because I've already unlocked some of these appearances on some of my characters, and I'll come to how we're doing that in a second, because I think my best advice would be, other than the mount, hold on to your residual memories. Don't buy any gear unless you urgently need the gear to, like, run raids or Mythic Plus, or you know, there's some other reason that you urgently need it. I would say hold off on buying any of the gear. I'll explain why in just a second here. But essentially, those are your main sources of residual memories. And so your best way of farming it in a scalable manner is going to be to take alts through each of those zones and complete the weekly quests. You know, pick up 1,500, 2,000 per alt. That's basically 6,000 residual memories that you can get per alt per week. And you can start the event at level 10. So if you don't have a bunch of alts that you plan on taking through the event, or you don't have enough alts, or you're running low on alts, you can just create a new allied character, fly over to, I'll even show you why I think Volpera is, as always, going to be a great alt class for this, is because your spawn point as a Volpera is literally right over here. You spawn right here, if I'm not mistaken, in the Valley of Honor, right? And essentially all you'll need to do is dragon ride over to the, what do you call it? Where the main area of Orgrimmar, right? I can never remember the names of this. I've only played Horde since vanilla. The Valley of Strength. And basically right here, next to the auction house at about 5476, they've handily given us a portal directly to Dalaran. So what I was saying earlier is that this event, I feel like Blizzard has actually put a lot of thought into making it as accessible and as clear as possible as to how, like, what you need to do, but then also how making it super easy for you to get alts there and so forth as well. You know, I've played most of the launch events, and generally it's required a bunch of janky things like teleporting characters all over the place. You know, I remember for previous events, I literally created a recruiter friend account and had alts that I, like, level 1 alts that I summoned and then parked in each of the launch event zones And then I would use the RAF summon whenever the event was live to summon my like main character or whichever characters I was trying to do the quests on to each of those zones. So luckily this time around, it's not that difficult, right? Either you can use the toy, right? The Dalaran Hearthstone toy. The issue is if you've not done any of the Legion questing on a given character, you can't use the Hearthstone. I will quickly touch on how we go about doing the quest line to unlock being able to use the Dalaran Hearthstone, right? This is a fresh character. As you can see, when we click on the Dalaran Hearthstone, it just says you can't do that right now. For those characters, this portal is a godsend, right? There should be one in Stormwind as well, and if we hop over to Alliance in a bit, we may take a look at that as well. But essentially, you'll click through this. This will port you to Legion Dalaran. You will then need to come over to the center area. And what I mean by that is basically this, right? This arch here. Let's take a quick stop right now to pick up our Dalaran Hearthstone. And basically what we'll need to do is we'll need to head into the Ledgermain Lounge, which is just over here. I think it's... I actually don't recall which one it is. Let's test this out live on stream, shall we? I believe it's one of the NPCs in here that we can talk to who will allow us to set our Hearthstone, or to start using the Dalaran Hearthstone. Is it Brandon Buckbeard? Sir Jonathan Truehearth? Maybe it's one of the fellows upstairs. I'll be honest, I looked up how to do it last night and I didn't quite get around to actually doing it myself on any of the characters. Wand of Simulated Life. What does this do? Ooh. Okay, well, there's a free toy up here that you can grab, so definitely do that. Okay, I may need to reopen that Wowhead page because I remember it saying we needed to come to the Ledgermain Lounge for something, but I don't remember which NPC it was in specific, so we'll check that out in a second here. All right, let's hop over to Wowhead. Dalaran Hearthstone. Here we go. I feel like it's always risky opening up my browser history on stream. In any case, we need to go talk to Emissy Azure Gaze in the Dalaran Inn. Okay, never mind. It wasn't the Ledgermain Lounge. I thought it was. But it turns out it's the Dalaran Inn, which I guess there's another inn here other than this one that I'm so familiar with. Still haven't found a good mount add-on, as y'all can tell. At some point, I'm just gonna have to manually set up summon favorite mount as a hotkey somewhere. In any case, where is the Dalaran Inn? That's the Alliance only inn, and this is the Horde only inn. Maybe that's where we need to go? Oh, it does look like it... Funnily enough, it does look like... It does look like it's in the Ledgermain Lounge, so I think I was correct about that. I think we just didn't find the right NPC. Or maybe you can't do it at level 10? Emissy Azure Gaze. I think that was the lady we spoke to downstairs. Didn't look like she had anything to hand us, though. Oh, is this? Flower pot. What's this? Ah. Okay, here we go. Emissy Azure Gaze, and supposedly we should be able to talk to this NPC and enable the Dalaran Hearthstone. In any case, maybe we can't. Maybe we just can't do it at level 10, or at level 10 if we haven't activated the correct timeways. In any case, you'll come to Dalaran. You'll go into the center of into the center area, which is called the Chamber of the Guardians, and you'll step on that little round thing upstairs, which will port you into the basement of the Chamber of the Guardian. You'll run straight ahead, and let's go ahead and sprint just to make this go a little bit quicker. And here is the main event area. Here you have portals to the Searing Gorge. You have portals a portal to Dustswallow Marsh and a portal to Dragonflight, so you can directly port to whichever of the events you need to get to. The other handy thing that Blizzard has done is that they've added this timer above the portal, and so it will tell you which event is coming up next and how much longer it is until the event is going to swap out of that zone. So in this case, we just did the Searing Gorge one, but we can see above here that the Radiant Echoes are active for 57 minutes and 41 seconds. Now that in and of itself doesn't really mean too much, primarily because of the fact that the actual event only happens in the first like 5 minutes, right? And on a high pop server, it goes even quicker than that. Like I've seen it being completed within like 2 or 3 minutes of the event starting. Just because of how many players are on there. Expect a lot of lag if you're playing on a high pop server. If you have an alt or if you have some friends on a low pop server, you may want to ask them to port you over. In any case, essentially once the timer is once the event is just freshly live in one of these zones, you'll want to click through the portal, and that will basically get you over to the zone like this. I mean, this is my alt that I just kept in Searing Gorge. And then essentially you'll be able to look on your map. Well, the first thing you want to do when you come through the portal is come over to an NPC that looks like this and pick up the quest for this zone, right? Unfortunately, I don't believe you can share these quests. Yeah, none of the quests are shareable, so that's kind of unfortunate. You will need to individually pick it up on the character. What you can actually do to make sure that you don't forget is you can actually just port through and pick up these quests on all of your characters prior to the event starting, so that if you do hop on real quick, you can just port over to the zone and start the event without having to remember to stop and pick up this quest. In any case, once you have the quest picked up, you'll be able to see the location on the map. The end boss will spawn, and so depending on how full of a server you are, you may just want to go camp there and throw down like AoEs or whatever to make sure that you get the tag. The most important thing is tagging the final boss, otherwise you do not get credit for the event. Little janky, I know. I hate that Blizzard does events like this. I mean, I've kind of gotten ruined by the Azeroth Archives event and the Time Rifts and the Dream Surge and all of these different events in the past couple of weeks, especially since the pre-patch. They've broken a whole bunch of those events, and it does frustrate me to no end that they do not give you credit for an entire event. If you're there for, let's say, 19 minutes of the event, but you don't tag the final boss, you don't get any credit for the event. It's unfortunate, but that is how it works. And so if you are not, actively playing the character, I would definitely recommend park yourself where the boss is, make sure to throw down AoEs, and make sure you get the tag on the final boss, because that's what counts towards getting you the currency. Now, once you complete the quest, you'll come back over here, you'll turn it in, and of course you'll get your currency. Pretty straightforward. I don't think I need to explain how quest turn-ins work. But I will quickly cover some of the other items that drop from those end bosses, and the other reason why you still want to tag the boss even if you've done the weekly quests on that character. The reason being is that in addition to the 500 residual memories that boss will drop, right, you also get these items called Memory of the Blank. Now, there's memories of the Eastern Kingdoms that will drop from the Searing Gorge event. There are memories of, I believe it's called Northern, that will drop from the Dragonflight event. And then there's memories of Kalimdor that will drop from the Dustwallow Marsh event. What you need to do is you need to collect 20 of each of these, at which point you will be able to combine them to create a solidified essence. With that solidified essence, you'll be able to come over to one of these vendors. There's a vendor in each zone, but there's sort of like a better vendor in the Guardian's Chamber earlier, and you'll then basically buy this Lifeless Stone Ring for 25 residual memories and use this with the 3 solidified essences in order to craft the final ring heirloom, right? The ring heirloom that you get from this event. This, I believe this is the one. It's called the Band of Radiant Echoes. The reason this is important is because for most people, this will be the second ring slot that you can get for your character. The first one, of course, you get from doing, I believe it's the fleet command table, the mission table for ships in Warlords of Draenor. So those are pretty easy to get. The other 2 rings that you get, one of them is the Dread Pirate Ring, which you will only get through the Stranglethorn Fishing Extravaganza, which is extremely difficult to get. I won't go into too much detail, but it's you're probably not gonna get this. And if you have this ring, I doubt you need me explaining to you how how difficult it is to get. Right? Let's put it that way. You need to basically be the first to complete a world event at very specific times once a week that are usually farmed to all hell, right? It's dang near impossible that you're going to be able to accidentally stumble upon that. Which basically means you only have, I don't believe there are any other rings unless I'm mistaken here. Do we not have a, let's see if searching for finger. Yeah, no. So those are the only 2 rings. One of the things to note is that the Ghost Pirate rings, the ones that you get from the mission table, are unique equipped. You can only have one of these Ghost Pirate rings equipped. So you can't just use 2 different ones of them, right? Even though we have 2 different ones unlocked, right? We have this one, the crit and verse one unlocked, as well as the crit and mastery. You can't just double dip and use 2 of these because they are unique equipped to those specific rings. So having the second ring will basically be a lovely little upgrade if you don't have that heirloom yet. But that's the other reward that you're going to get from completing the boss. Now, the boss will also drop a 480 piece of gear. The reason this is significant is that, first of all, it's binds to warband until equipped. What that means is you don't actually need to use it on the character that you farmed it up on. That is super handy. The reason being that you may be completing this quest on your main, right? Maybe you already have a neck piece that is above eye level 480. You don't need to then use this gear on this character. You can either dump it in your warbank, mail it over, trade it over to any of the other characters on your account, which is pretty awesome because this is veteran track gear. So you can upgrade this all the way to 502, I believe. Now, in this specific case, I happen to want to gear up this character as well, so I will actually equip it on this character. But if I had picked up, let's say, a piece for, well, I mean, this character is pretty undergeared as it goes. But let's say I picked up a chest piece, right? I would definitely mail that over or dump it in my warbank and move it over to my paladin, who will benefit more from a 480 piece of gear than this character will. The final item, the other reason it's notable that these items drop from the boss is because these are the same pieces of gear that you would buy off of the vendor. So this Remembrancer's Radiant Jewels, if you were to buy it off of the vendor, it would cost you 2,000 of these residual memories. As a result, I would say you're better off waiting as far as you can in the event before you buy any of these pieces of gear. The reason being that just completing the weekly quest itself on all of your alts, you may have an item that you were planning on buying drop for you anyway, saving you those 2,000 residual memories. Now on this character, we actually got a neck piece, so there's not really an appearance tied to it there. But this character, for instance, got the Recruit's Sturdy Wristbands, right? And this is, again, an item that we can buy off of this vendor. I would say definitely on this vendor. I don't think you can buy lower level items unless I'm mistaken here. Let's switch off the hide collected transmog because I want to see if I am correct. Yeah, so for instance, I had this blade drop for one of my characters yesterday, right? And so now I've saved 4,000 of these residual memories because we already unlocked this appearance just by having it drop for us on that character. And so as a result, I would say definitely pick up the mount, whenever you want, because this is what the Horde version of the mount looks like. Pretty cool, pretty unique looking, right? This blue and yellow theme are pretty sick. I don't know how excited we all are to have yet another Wind Rider, but hey, it is what it is. It's at least a pretty cool looking Wind Rider and looks pretty unique at least. But essentially that mount will cost you 20,000 residual memories, and so that's going to be the first thing that we're saving up for, right? I primarily care about mounts. That said, the item sets are also pretty cool looking. We'll take a look at them in a second. There are 2 other items that you can buy that are a little bit less collectory and more like immediate use, which are the Defender's Satchel, which is a 32 slot bag, and the Recruit's Reagent Bag, which is a 30 slot reagent bag. These, I honestly don't know what Blizzard was thinking when they added them as rewards. They are quite possibly the worst use of your residual memories. Even if you want a bag, hit the auction house and pick up an Azure Weave Expedition pack. You can craft them. I mean, as you can see on screen, you can craft these for like 400 gold. 400 gold will always be easier to farm than 2,000 of these residual memories, right? So definitely do not spend your residual memories on this. it's wacky that Blizzard put them on there. Similarly, the Clonocloth reagent bag, you know, is a 36 slot reagent bag. So not only will you first of all save yourself 2,000 residual memories, but you'll also get 2 more slots per bag if you just hit the auction house and buy these bags instead. Or heck, if you don't have the recipes or you don't want to pay, you know, a premium, or they're extremely overpriced on your auction house, you can see on my server they're going for 5,000 gold right now, which means once we're done going through this residual echo thing, I'm gonna hearth back to Valdrakken and craft a whole bunch of them, throw them up on the auction house. And similarly, the reagent bag, you can just buy a 36 slot reagent bag instead for 770 gold worth of mats. Again, a lot cheaper than this 2,000 residual memories, and you can instead put those residual memories to buying one of your alts another piece of 480 gear, right? Do that instead. Do not spend your residual memories on bags. It is a complete waste of residual memories. In any case, with that rant over, the final item that drops from each of the bosses is this token of the Remembrancers. Now, what this will drop is a random piece of champion gear that is specifically for your class. So make sure that you have, first of all, the right loot specialization set up, right? I have historically played this character as a Blood Death Knight, but realistically for leveling, I think I'm probably going to want to go Frost instead. And so as a result, I need to make sure that I set my loot specialization correct here. But essentially what this item, let's do it on this character, because I kind of care a little bit less about this level 10 having the best gear. I'm probably not going to take them up to level 70, right? But essentially when you click on this, it will give you a level 493 piece of champion track gear. Now 490 champion track gear, I'm not 100% certain on how far you can upgrade this. We can check it out on our other character later on, but this will also unlock an appearance, and so by opening this chest, we unlocked another one of these appearances, right? The Dirk, and that also saved us probably about 4,000. This appearance right here, yeah, 4,000 residual memories. Now, of course, we may still have characters that genuinely need a one-handed dagger, right? And so we may have to buy this item later on anyway, because this is soulbound. This one you can't trade to your alts, but at the same time, you don't need to buy, you know, it's one less appearance that you need to buy now, that you got completely from due to RNG, right? Which is good. I don't think I need to explain that much more. All right, let's turn in the quest on this character and let's get going with everything else. What else? I think that more or less sums up the Radiant Echoes event. I don't think there's too much more to say. I do want to take a quick break right now, before we'll just quickly go through the different armor sets that are available as rewards, just to look at what the transmog looks like. Now, normally I'm not a big collect transmog kind of fella, but Blizzard did something with this event that means I kind of want to collect every single piece of gear. The reason being is that they did it as a completely purple transmog set. So what that means is that they kind of go with the color palette that I've picked for my channel, and so I kind of want at least one I want to unlock, you know, the cloth, leather, mail, and plate variants of this transmog for all my characters. Now, hopefully, I don't end up having to spend a bunch of Radiant Echoes in order to do that. Hopefully, you know, just cycling all of my alts through should unlock most of these transmogs for us. But if they don't, I've got a bunch more farming ahead of me, and so we probably will end up trying to get as much of these as we can. I think probably the place that I'm going to be a little bit less fussy is going to be with the weapons and potentially the cloaks, but most likely we'll have those drop for us anyway. But essentially, each character that you take through and complete a boss on, you'll basically unlock 2 of those transmogs, so that can save you anywhere from 4,000 to about 8,000. Or potentially more. I'm actually not sure how much the 2-handed weapons cost. Let's see if we can't just check that real quick on the vendor. Okay, so it looks like some of these pieces cost as much as 5,000 Radiant Echoes, so Yeah, these go up to 8,000, and since you'll get 2 items, you could conceivably save about 16,000 residual memories if you get lucky with the RNG on both what the boss drops, as well as if you get lucky with the RNG of what's in your little bag here as well. The other thing to note is that since these items drop as soulbound, you actually unlock the appearance on a level 10, even if you can't equip it, right? It's a 493 piece of gear, so it does require level 70. But even though you can't equip it, because of the fact that it's soulbound, Blizzard is giving you the actual appearance for it, which is nice of them, right? And should mean that you can make effective use of level 10 alts as well. In 42 minutes, when we have the next event up, we are going to try taking one of our starter accounts in here as well. If that works, then low-key the meta is going to be, and I'm going to test this out probably off stream just because I'm worried my graphic card will literally die on me if we try and do it on stream, is having, 3 or 4 starter account characters who are just tagging the boss, getting the loot, and then we need to see if starter accounts either have access to the warbank, because they're not going to be able to trade, they're not going to be able to mail, but presumably they should be able to unlock appearances for us, which, I mean, if I can't get the actual piece of gear, if I can't get the residual memories, I'll take just the appearance, right? It's still saving me residual memories. And the other thing I want to test out is whether you're able to transfer currency off of them. I would assume not. I would assume Blizzard has thought about this, but that said, given how this pre-patch has gone, I'm not going to put a lot of merit in the idea that Blizzard has fully figured out everything that they've done with this pre-patch event, and so it may be possible to actually transfer currency off of these alts, off of those starter accounts, and we may test that in a second here as well. In any case, I'm going to take a quick little break, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about the event, and we will also go craft some bags. Clearly they're selling for crazy eye-watering numbers. And I've sold almost 1 million gold worth of stuff in the past day or two alone, actually. Yesterday was a great day for sales, so we will also hop onto some of my banker characters and take a look at what we unlocked, what's been selling, and why I've been doing so well. We'll then hop over and look at the warbank as well. I am putting together a little short video that will be up on the YouTube channel and on TikTok and on all of the socials. So if you don't follow me there, go ahead and do that. If you're watching live, you can just use any of the commands that are in the bottom right corner of the screen, which I don't know if I'm pointing in the right direction. Let me open up OBS. Oh, we also have a new camera angle today, by the way. I've tried moving to the front. If you just look that way, can you see the text straight down this way? You can use any of those commands to get URLs to all the different socials and things. But essentially, we'll be posting more shorts there again as well. Anyway, let's take a quick break, and we will be right back. And we are back. We have our trusty water bottle in front of us again. Remember to stay hydrated, folks. It's the most important thing. That aside, let's add to the PSA today. Get your protein in, all right? I got my protein shake on deck. I actually managed to get myself into the gym yesterday after a long while and lifted some heavy weights. And so trying to get my protein in as well, trying to get a little bit more jacked. Not a little bit more jacked, trying to get jacked to begin with, if we're being completely honest here. In any case, during the break, I also did take a look at the Death Knight specs, and I think I am actually just going to keep this guy Blood, and we're going to level him as a Blood Death Knight. It should allow us to solo more of the rares and should allow for faster queues in the War Within dungeons and delves and things like that as well. All right, so we changed our loot specialization back to Blood. Let's go ahead and open up our champion gear and see what we got. We got Gauntlets, which is a 52% upgrade. Heck yeah. You'll love to see it. And we will go test out in a second exactly what eye level we can upgrade that to. And that also unlocked the plate gloves appearance for us, right? So like I'm saying, ideally, I would recommend, buy the mount. I don't think that can drop off of the boss. I suppose we will find out more information about that as we go on. But I don't believe the mounts or the pets can drop. Unless I'm mistaken. I haven't seen them drop yet, but I don't really have a huge sample size. I guess Wowhead would probably cover that as well. Let's maybe take a quick look at the Radiant Echoes event. Let's go to the little event rewards guide that they have here, and let's see if it mentions here whether the boss can drop any of the mounts. I don't believe so. I believe the mounts and the pets are only off of the vendor. Does it mention here? Okay, so yeah, I was correct. And basically these ones you can only buy off of the vendor. So the first thing you want to do with all of your Radiant Echoes currency, with the residuals memories currency from the Radiant Echoes event, is to buy the mount. And then I guess you can sort of decide what you want to do with the pets. There's 3 pets available. There's the Remembered Construct, which is this cool looking guy here. The Remembered Spawn, which has also got the same blue and yellow effect. And the Remembered Riverpaw. So both, all 3 are super cute looking pets. Definitely one that pet collectors will want, but they're also pretty expensive, right? 10,000 residual memories is pretty steep. Let's quickly check if these pets are tradable. If they are, that may be a little bit of a gold farm that you can do. Okay, yeah, these are not tradable, so you will need to actually collect them for yourself, in which case we may try and grab these as well. If we're able to get all the transmog we want, then I will probably also pick up some of these pets if we have residual memories left over. As to whether or not I prioritize that over gearing an alt remains to be seen. Now, the other thing to note is, of course, we have a bunch of remix alts that we've gotten to level 70. They are not going to be able to take part in this event until remix ends, which is 19 days from now. That said, you can still start gathering these residual memories currency for them so that, 19 days and 5 hours from now, when they become regular World of Warcraft characters, you can just hop on them, transfer over all the currency you need to buy them all of the gear pieces that you plan on buying for them. I think probably for most of my alts, at the very least, I'll try and at least pick up one of these 480 eye level weapons, and then we'll see with the other slots, right? We may or may not bother. We may or may not have enough residual memories to actually deck them all out in full 480. Really remains to be seen how much residual memories I end up farming. Now, the other thing that we want to do. The other thing that I wanted to touch on was leveling in the event. So, like we said, of course, turning in the quests will give you a little bit of XP, nothing too major. But the main way that you're going to want to do it is basically by farming the mobs in the Radiant Echo zones. Whichever zone is active tends to have the most players up, and so it's usually easiest to fill a group there. What I would recommend is doing this in a party. You'll see a lot of raids up. Okay, so this character can't do it because of the fact that we are level 10, so we don't have the random finder thingamabobber unlocked. let's see if we can hop over to a character that isn't level 70, just so I can give you guys a feel for roughly how much experience you can expect to get. We may need to do it on one of our alliance characters actually, and that'll actually also allow us to figure out where the portal is in Stormwind. Let's go ahead and do that now. So I have this level 60 monk and this level 60 mage that I created alliance side with on different realms, right? Just wanted to spread them out a bit, and also so that I could create a level 58 evoker that predictably went a little bit wrong for me because I forgot to log into some of those evokers, and so they got reset to level 10. I need to open a ticket with to Blizzard to ask them and see if there's anything they can do about it. I think they're probably going to tell me to go pound sand. And so, as usual, you'll benefit a lot more from doing as I say and not as I do, because even in the little video that I put out, I mentioned that it's a good idea to log on to those characters so that they start getting rested XP. It turns out it was also a good idea to do it so that they actually stayed at level 58 and didn't get tuned down to level 10 the way my evokers did. In any case, essentially what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create a group with a bunch of other characters that are farming the event mobs. The reason I recommend doing it in a party instead of a raid is that in a raid, it seems that you only get experience for... Okay, so we're in Stormwind. You will have to you will have to bear with me because I am not familiar with retail Stormwind in the slightest, so I have no idea what's going on. Heck, my mount button isn't working. My mount keybind isn't working correctly. Is this... Nope, this isn't a dragon flying mount. All right, let's manually dragon ride, I suppose, and see if we can't figure out where exactly the quest line starts. I think it should pop up for us in a second here. Up. I hate the fact that dragon riding things don't carry over super easily to alts. Like I wish the toolbars for dragon riding would stay the same between alts, but it doesn't for now. So it is what it is. Who is this guy and why does he have a quest for us? What quest does he have for us? Vertos? What quest is this? Prophecy stirs aboard the Vindicar. Okay, I don't know what that quest is doing. Where do we go for the Radiant Echoes quest line? Presumably we should have it on this character because of the fact that it is... Okay, so in Stormwind, our portal is going to be located yet again in the main hub, right? In the main part of Stormwind. What is this? The trade district. I've only spent days and days of in-game time in this part of Stormwind, but similar to Orgrimmar, I don't even remember what it's called. And this is where the portal is. It's at about 62, 68 in Stormwind, and this should port us to Dalaran, the Legion version of it, which means we can then start getting this character set up to run the event for us. And it looks like it ports us into the Graying Enclave. We'll quickly pick up the quest from the Ledgar Main Lounge. Since this character is level 60, we should be able to pick up the quest pretty easily. Let's go ahead and put an actual dragon riding mount onto our toolbar just to speed things up a little bit. Oh my god, did it literally... I literally just set the toolbar up and it's already messing me around with this. All right. Hopefully this time it sticks. In any case, you'll come over here, you'll come to Macy Atrogaze, and she will still not have a quest for you because I have no idea what the heck I'm doing. It appears. Toy box, let's see if the Dalaran Hearthstone... Oh, this character already comes... I guess the preset characters already have the Dalaran Hearthstone unlocked, so... We figured that out at the very least. In any case, we will come down here. We will port to Searing Gorge, and we'll actually go ahead and create a pre-made group. And you can kind of call this whatever you want. I think I was pasting in a Talon spec, which is why that looked all weird. All right. Radiant Echo Syrian Gorge. Let's go ahead and create a party. And I haven't had too much of an issue filling parties. There are a lot of players that are running this event consistently. While it's not the most effective way to farm by a long shot, these Radiant Echoes, you know, that's if you give WoW players the opportunity to grind for hours on end for anything, you best believe that that's what they're gonna do, right? So at most hours of the day, there should be some groups up. Depending on how you feel, I prefer generally creating my own groups for things just so I can manage things a little bit better and fill if in case, you know, we're running low on players or anything like that. But you can feel free to join one of the groups that's already up. Now, once we're in the zone, basically all we're gonna need to do is run around tagging mobs. If you're on a less populated server, you may also need to take out the mobs yourself. But overall, as you can see, we're only getting XP on the mobs that we tag, and the residual memories currency here just drops off of the mobs directly. You don't need to loot any of the mobs, which is kind of nice because that means you can just run around tagging things. I would recommend, I mean, if you're picking a class specifically to do this on, as always, Druid with Moonfire is great. Mages with either Ice Lance or Fire Blast. Fire Blast is a little bit less effective. I actually leveled my mage using Fire Blast, but I'm now realizing that actually Ice Lance is arguably more effective because it doesn't seem to have as long of a cooldown on it. Something just happened on the stream, and I'm not sure what because Restream is not telling me what just happened. Oh, I think we got a new follower. Oh, thank you so much for the follow. Hi, Sandra Dav. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. First of all, thank you so much for tuning in. Second of all, thank you so much for following. I really do appreciate that. Really, really helps me a lot. And if you're having a bit of an issue, you know, filling groups, you can just start inviting random people as well. Of course, you will need to make sure that they are part of your faction, right? I think, yeah, I think we accidentally invited a Horde player just then, which is probably not going to work too great for world stuff. What's this guy? Zandalari Troll. Jeez, it seems like whatever character I play on, everyone I target seems to be from the opposite faction. But the reason I recommend doing this in a party instead of in a raid is that in a raid you only get experience for the mobs that you tag, which means there's not really a huge benefit in being in a raid other than you just have a whole bunch of characters on the same phase who are killing a bunch of mobs quickly. But if you're in a party, whether or not you tag the mob, you will get XP. So if you're an unethical player, I suppose you could potentially, not saying to do this because it's not nice, but you can semi sort of AFK and just sort of tag mobs and you know, have your character leveled while just running around pretty chill. I'm gonna stop tagging mobs for a second here. I don't know how many people we have in our party. We have a full group, and as you can see, even without me tagging any of the mobs, we're still getting XP, right? And a decent rate, right? We're averaging about 200,000 XP per hour, which, I mean, at the early levels will mean, you know, this character, for instance, needs 55,000 to get from 60 to 61, which means we'll do 4 levels this hour, assuming a fairly similar rate of progression on the XP rewards. The only thing to note, of course, is we're not getting any residual memories, as you can see, right? You do need to tag the mobs in order to get the residual memories off of them. And like you can, as I said earlier, I mean, and you can see from here, is that regular mobs only give you 1 residual memory, whereas the rare, what do you call it? The elites. Let's see if we can find an elite. Yeah, so this one, for instance, once this mob dies, not only do you get a lot more XP from them, but you also get 5 residual memories each. So you may also arguably want to make a macro that just targets whatever the elites in this area are called, and you know, only casts you know, your whatever spell you're using to tag them on those elites, right? If in case you're playing a class that maybe doesn't have something like an Ice Lance that you can just sort of chain spam. Now, I think I mentioned this earlier, and if you were watching at the start of the stream and watch me get ganked right at the start of this event, I would definitely recommend going war mode off. You will get 10% less experience, but trust me, it's a lot. You'd rather sacrifice that 10% experience than being dead most of the time, because that's what happened yesterday when I tried to run the event with war mode on. Is I more or less just kept getting chain ganked by the opposite faction, and that's definitely going to slow down your leveling speed at the very least. All right, and so we've been in this zone for I don't even know how long. It's not even been that long since we zoned in, and we are already at basically level 61, right? Time this session, 9 minutes, right? We've been leveling for the past 9 minutes. It took us 9 minutes to get from 60 to 61 with a full party. If we were doing this in a raid, it would presumably be a little bit slower. Just because of the fact that we would only get experience for the mobs that we tag, not for anything that our party kills. Whereas with doing it in a party, you actually get experience for everything that your party tags. You just don't get the residual memory currency. And so, this is a great way to level alts. Would I recommend doing this as a residual memory farm? Heck no. It's slow as all heck, right? Like I said, you'd think of it this way: you'd have to kill 1,500 mobs, 2,000 mobs to get the same amount of residual memories you would get for just logging onto a different character every time the event is up and completing the weekly quest on that character, right? Could you potentially farm 2,000 residual memories per hour? Yep, but at the point that you're farming gear, like an individual gear piece every hour, I feel like you're better off using your time running mythic dungeons or raiding or whatever else. So outside of XP farming, I really wouldn't recommend using the Radiant Echoes event to actively farm the residual memories. I would much rather recommend that you use this to level characters, and then use the events that are every 90 minutes right now to actually farm the currency that you need. Now, one thing I forgot to do on the alt that we were playing was to transfer over these memory items and the other things. Let's go ahead and equip our 490 ring as well. That will soulbind it, but we're okay with that because this is a character that we do plan on leveling into the War Within pretty early on. Now, one of my add-ons here should be telling me which zone is next. I believe they go in the order that that the portals are laid out. So the first one is in Syrian Gorge, the second one is in Dustwallow Marsh, and the third one is in Dragonflight. But we have about 20 minutes, and we're going to use these 20 minutes to craft some bags. One of the things I have been doing is tinkering around a lot more with my concentration, using up the concentration, and figuring out what the best items we can craft for each of these characters is. Although I'm wondering if... oh, did we get another follower? Oh, thank you so much for following, Guillaume. Really appreciate that. Welcome to the stream, for those of you who are just joining us, by the way. And Sandra as well. So we've got 2 followers this stream. I'm extremely excited about that. That is great. Thank you guys so much. Are you guys playing Dragonflight, the War Within? Are you playing the pre-patch? Are you playing Remix? Are you playing Classic, Season or Discovery, Cataclysm Classic, what is it? Era Realms, I guess the vanilla classic realms are called. Hardcore. Heck, there's so many versions of these games. Of World of Warcraft. Actually, not even games. It's literally just World of Warcraft that has like 30 different ways that you can play. If you are playing, let me know in chat. Let me know which version of the game you're playing. Let me know if you're doing the Radiant Echoes event. Have you checked it out yet? What feature of the pre-patch are you most excited about? And if you're watching, if you are watching the video on demand later on, because I tend to get a lot more views on my video on demands, which I'm extremely happy about. But comment. Let me know in the comments. Just because you're not watching live doesn't mean we can't interact. I reply to every single one of my comments as soon as humanly possible. So test me on that. See if I am being honest there, or if I'm lying to y'all. I would never lie to y'all, as much as I can avoid it, but I'm definitely not lying on this one. So drop a comment, test me, see how quick I am to respond. In any case, thank you so much for the follows. Really do appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, please do drop a subscribe or drop a like on the video if you think I've earned it. And then, yeah, check me out on all the other socials as well. I've been putting together a whole bunch of content and getting a lot better at editing things as well. So hopefully you should see a lot more content coming there soon. All right, and this character is already halfway to, I actually didn't realize that I'd alt-tabbed out of this character, but as you can see, just being in a party, we're already halfway to level 62, right? And that's quite literally AFK, which again, do not recommend, but that is kind of how it works. I mean, if you want the residual memories, you are gonna have to actually run around tagging mobs, but otherwise you can sort of potentially, if you forget that you were playing WoW and you alt tab into something else and start doing something else instead, you will still get XP if you're in a party with other players who are tagging things. So don't say I told you how to do this, but you may accidentally forget. People are forgetful, right? We're all busy. We all got a lot of things on our mind. Sometimes people forget. You know, what can you do? Oh, I just joined a random guild. Let's actually /G quit and let's get this character added. Now that we have, okay, let's do that. While we're testing this out, unfortunately warbands are locked on this character because I guess I logged into this character first. Unless warbanks went down again. Oh geez, I wonder if warbanks went down. I have a feeling that this is just an add-on issue and that the warbank is actually still up, and that they didn't have to take it down again. Ooh, and I see we have 4 viewers on Twitch. Well, welcome to the stream, everyone. I love when we have higher viewer counts like that. I mean, obviously it goes without saying. But if you are watching live, drop a message in chat. Let me know how it's going. Let me know if you checked out the event yet. If you've leveled any characters. This is my 3rd character that I'm leveling. I've already gotten 3 characters to level 70. No, sorry, this is my 4th character that I'm leveling through the Radiant Echoes event. And so it is just super easy. And pretty fast, in all honesty. I don't think it's quite as fast as Remix because I think it will take us slightly over an hour to get a character from 60 to 70. So it's definitely not faster than Remix, because if you're actually moderately decent at leveling, unlike myself, you can probably get a Remix character from 10 to 70 in about an hour to an hour and a half at most, right? I think when we did it on stream the other day, it took us about an hour and a half. But you can definitely bring that time down if you just play a little bit more efficiently, and if you play on peak hours when people are actually online doing things. I play on off-peak hours because despite living in an EU time zone, I play on North American realms because of the fact that I just have all of my collections and all my unlocked mounts and pets and toys and appearances and everything on North American realms, and I can't be bothered to refarm everything on EU realms. Even though I do have an EU account, I only played it for a bit during what is it, Wrath? Yeah, I think during Wrath. And so I don't have too many of I don't barely have any of the collectibles and things like that, right? On North American realms, I have over 500 mounts, which we accomplished on stream 2 weeks ago, I think. So if you are interested in mount collecting, go check out those videos on my YouTube channel as well, or on my Twitch video on demands, because I go through a whole bunch of easy to get mounts, or at least less difficult to get mounts, that are a bit off the beaten track, right? Not your bronze drakes and not the simple mounts that every guide to 5 mounts that you could get in the next 15 minutes on YouTube. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate those guides, but I feel like a lot of them are just rehash content. And so you can check out my other streams, and I also have some more content that I've recorded there as well that'll be coming in the weeks to come. I just need to get better at editing. I basically suck at editing, and so I'm just learning it from scratch. I do at some point plan on hiring someone to do the editing for me, but in order to do that, I kind of need some money to pay anyone. And by following and watching me live, you're definitely helping me get a lot closer to that. But liking and commenting also helps a lot. But for now, watching the stream live is probably the best thing you can do to help me, aside from following. Watching me on Twitch and following me on Twitch is the monetization route that I'm closest to, if in case anyone was curious. Anyway, enough self-promotion and enough meta talk about streaming. Yeah, so we're about to, in 20 minutes, we've gotten about 2 levels from 60 to 62 in about 20 minutes, which is honestly at this point on par for, what do you call it? On par for running dungeons as well, right? Each dungeon, in my experience, each Dragonflight dungeon will get you about 2 levels between 60 and 70. And so it looks like this is just about as quick, albeit without the queue timer, because of the fact that, you know, this character is a DPS, and so queue times would take a while as well. But I mean, as you can see here, right, the random dungeon alone is giving you more or less the bonus from running a random dungeon will give you about a level itself, right? This level takes us 60,000 experience to go from 62 to 63, and the bonus alone is 50,600. So during the dungeon, you'd get even more experience and probably get about 2 levels. The only issue is the queue times, especially on a character like this, who's a mage, who can only queue as DPS, right? We're probably going to end up having a lot of AFK time where we're just queued up for things. If you're running it on a tank or a healer, you know, and you have the nice little instant queues, as well as I think you still get like a bonus to experience. Well, I think you get some bonus items. I don't know if you get bonus experience for queuing as a tank, but for queuing as a tank or a healer or whatever's in demand, but you may also get some additional bonuses there. So I think if you are keen on like playing the class or like learning how to play the class, then you probably want to, and again, it's a healer or a tank class, then you probably want to run dungeons instead. Also because you'll pick up some loot along the way. This character is going to hit level 70 with more or less all eye level 180 gear, right, which is kind of useless. I'll probably smack some crafted gear on this character at some point, but overall they're not going to be geared at level 70. They're not going to be able to jump into War Within content without some better gear, and running them through dungeons would sort of be a 2 birds 1 stone sort of story there. All right, and one other thing to note is that in a lot of these zones, Blizzard hasn't unfazed the regular mobs that are there as well. So if you are in a group like this, running around, you know, spamming mobs, it could be worth your while to loot the mobs that are lootable. Just yesterday, we got a couple of world drop items off of some of these random mobs that are like level 30 that had a decent auction house value. I think we looted like 3,000 or 4,000 gold, just worth of transmog or worth of appearances that we hadn't collected, just by looting some of these mobs. Right, they still drop world drop vanilla greens and things like that. So you never know what you may find, right? Definitely worth checking out. All right, how much longer do we have on this event? 9 minutes and 3 seconds. Okay, I don't think we should bother then with trying to do anything else. I'm gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna hop back and do the remaining events on all of. We're gonna test it out on the starter account as well. How about that? Let's boot up our starter account as well and get that going. And I may do that off stream, like while we're on break, just to see if it messes up my performance too badly. And heck, I am also interested to see whether buying the Horde version of this mount will automatically unlock the Alliance version of us, or if we will need to actually buy both the Horde and the Alliance versions separately, which is not something I'm going to be super keen on, if we're being honest. Where can I enable my Zames to level? Okay, no searches there. Ideally, I should probably just find a weak aura for this. Add-ons, is it anywhere in here? Where did Curse Forge go? Zames to TV, Radiant Echoes timer. Oh, Command ZZ. There we go. Here's our timer. All right. So next location is going to be Dustwallow Marsh. Let's park this character there. And let's we'll move over to Dustwallow Marsh on this guy in a second here. I think the other thing we're gonna need to do is let's go ahead and grab the quest. Like I said, first thing you want to do whenever you zone in is grab the quest, and then you're basically going to want to park your character at exactly where the quest marker is, right? This is where Onyxia is going to spawn. And ultimately, as much as we want to try and participate in the mini events, you know, each of those mini events only give you about 100 of the residual memories currency. Killing the main boss is where you're going to get 2,000 of those currencies, 2,000 of the currency, as well as the 2 item drops, which will unlock more transmog, as well as champion gear and 480 gear, and all the good stuff drops off of the boss. And so that's where you want to, you know, if you have to pick between potentially completing the sub events or just tagging the boss, prioritize tagging the boss, because that's where the bulk of the rewards are going to be, right? There's no competition there whatsoever. All right, let's take that break, and then we'll come back for the next event. And unfortunately, today's stream, we did have to do we started a bit early, right? Usually I would be starting the stream around this time, around 4 p.m. my time, whatever time zone it is in yours, in your time zone. Why can this not fly? Jesus. All right, so I thought I added, I swear it's like resetting my spell bars every time I like enter combat or something, or maybe when I'm leveling, because I swear to God I've put the Algarian Stormrider onto my spell bar like 5 times. All right, well, I suppose we can just port to Hall of the Guardian. Oh, but I think this is the like the mage version of it. Why? Oh God, I'm gonna have to fly around, and I'm gonna have to port around and unlock the different teleports and portal spells on this character. You would think that if you boost, oh God, it reset everything. This is. Oh geez, we're as usual having a bunch of add-on issues. All right, let's get this character parked over in what was this? What's the zone? In Dustwallow Marsh, and then we'll head off for break and do everything else that we need to do. All right, Dustwallow Marsh. Yep, let's port over. And let's pick up the quest and park them right there, and then head off for a quick little break. Oh, it was on the spell bar. I just didn't see it here. Oh, for Pete's sake! All right, we'll get to the boss, and then we will reload our interface. How about that? And take our break then. All right, so we're parked here. And let's reload our interface, and let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Thank you, everyone. Alright, and we are back. And I actually just went ahead and created a fresh allied race character so that they're at level 10 and they can get to, and they can take part in the event. We need to first set up our, actually no, let's just do this. We're probably not going to be playing this character too much outside of testing out what exactly they have unlocked in terms of what they're able to unlock for us in terms of the event. If so, you best believe I'm going to be putting 5 characters through this event, at least until they fix it, at least until they tell me that I can't, right? Oh geez, my add-ons are as usual messing around with me. I want to get this character over to the event zone as quickly as possible though. So essentially we created this fresh I can never remember the goddamn name of what the character is. Volpera, and we'll port to Dalaran here, right? So this is on a starter account, but if you have the allied races unlocked, you can just create a level 10 straight up, which is handy. I don't know why we bothered mounting, to be honest, but hey, it is what it is. All right, let's go through this. We've got Blink locked to 4, but I can't use any of these spells on my bar because my add-ons are glitching out on me. Surprise, surprise. All right, we got to get them situated in Dustwallow Marsh as well. And we'll see what rewards we're able to... Oh, not Dragonflight. We almost went to Dragonflight. All right, the event is now live. And ideally, normally the objective thing should show up here. Both of these characters are on full server, so lag is just ridiculous. I mean, you can see how many characters are around me right now, right? Like, this is not going to be a good time for anyone. Lag-wise, at least. All right, let's get this guy parked at the quest, at the location as well. And this guy's actually on the same server as my other character, so maybe it's better that I have both of these side by side instead of having the other 2 accounts. All right, let's take this full screen because this guy's on a different server. And then these 2 are on the same server. Oh God, let's minimize this one. We've got this one, and we've got this one and this character we want on the right. All right, and what we need to do is we need to basically, you want to tag this congealed memory blob thing. Let's unmount. That should give us 100 of the residual memories. And where's the 3rd account that we're on? Oh God, this may be too many characters to manage all at once. I don't know how I'm going to do this on 5 characters, but I will definitely try to, because we've got to test things. Up. All right, let's just spam Arcane Blast. All right, do we have... Yeah, so now it's in the phase where where people are flying around and doing different memories, seeing as how we're trying to maximize how many characters we're doing this on. I'm probably not going to fly around and bother getting the different sub events. I'm just going to camp out here and wait for the main boss to spawn. Now, presumably the starter account would have already gotten some residual memories, and it looks like we did, right? We got 25 of them. Let's see if we can pull those to the other characters. Yeah, it looks like the residual memories are trapped on this character. Now, what that means is you can still... Oh, interestingly enough, we can transfer... So, you can transfer residual memories onto the trial account, but you can't transfer residual memories off of the trial account. And all that means is basically each time we complete one of these events, we will unlock the transmog on that character. So from a transmog farming perspective, still worth it, right? Also because of the fact that we should get 2 items off of the main boss, which will unlock another 2 transmogs for us. So if you're looking to farm pets or even the mount, you may be able to actually get enough residual memories depending on how much you're playing the character. Actually, I don't know. I guess if you were, it might be tough. It might be tough to save up enough residual memories to get the mount. Although, presumably, I mean, basically to get a pet, right? In 2 weeks, well, each character can get 2,000 residual memories on a given. Oh, looks like Onyxia has spawned. But as you can see with the lag, this character doesn't see it yet. I guess they're in different phases is probably the explanation there more than lag. Boom, Onyxia is down here, and we'll just have to make sure that we get our tags in before anyone takes out the boss. And so it really depends, I guess, into which event instance you actually get put into. Will make the differences to, you know, how quick you need to be, because both of those characters are on Illidan, but one of them had the boss spawn a lot sooner than the other one did. And you can see how long it'll be until you can start attacking the boss with the little debuff that she has on her. All right, and so I think we've tagged on both of those accounts. Can never be too sure though with the amount of lag that's going on. You know, you just want to make doubly sure. Oh, forgot that I can't use any of my spell bars. And I think on one of the accounts, Onyxia's already down. Yeah, here. Boom. So Onyxia is down on this character. We've got our memories of Kalimdor. We've got our memories of the Eastern Kingdoms. We got a 480 weapon, which we're happy to see, right? Our Death Knight needs that. And we should have gotten one of those little chest box thingies as well. Unless that's only for the first boss that we kill, which may be the case, right? That may be what's going on here. So we'll go ahead and equip this 480 weapon, which is of course nice to have. Although Pawn is telling us that this is a bigger upgrade for us. Boom! Token of the Remembrance recruits 30 binding, so we unlocked some bracers there. All right, let's go through and see everything that we've unlocked for our various characters. So on this character, we got a one-handed sword, right? It's scaled down to level 62, which isn't great, but hey, we care more about the appearance in this case. So we unlocked this appearance, and hey, we even rolled indestructible on it. So I guess that'll be useful for something, for whatever that's worth. That's a thing. Let's go ahead and, are we going to level this character Frost or Fire? I suppose it doesn't really matter all that much. Let me know in chat. Do you think we should level this character as Frost or as Fire? You have until I turn in the quest here and get this guy situated to hit up the next event. Although actually no, never mind. On this guy we're farming XP, so we will keep him in this zone. Let's go ahead and turn in that quest. And we got another. Oh, and that actually pushed us over to level 62. Or level 63 rather. Oh, and we died. Do we have war mode on? Is that what's going on? Oh, we can't even put on war mode on this character. What am I saying? This is a level 10 character. They don't have war mode unlocked yet. Luckily, the spawn point's pretty close to where we are here. And this character also got a Token of the Remembrance chest. I think it is literally just the first boss you kill per week will give you that Token of Remembrance. So it's definitely important to at least do one boss per week on each of your characters to get that champion's gear, right? This is a starter account. I don't really care. I'm really using it just to farm appearances. And boom, we unlocked, we have a 493 staff that this character is never going to be able to use because this is a starter account, but we unlocked the transmog, and that's what we wanted to do, right? We unlocked transmog for this item and for these cloth bracers, which just means if we're coming down to it, we've saved, I think the bracers are like 3,000 of the residual memories, and the weapons are, the two-handed weapons are 8,000. So we just saved 11,000 residual memories in transmog costs, right? If we were only looking to collect the transmog, that's a huge amount, right? That's going to make a significant impact into how much more of the transmog we need to farm. Now, given that it works that way, I would actually say you're better off creating a fresh starter character If you're purely doing it from the perspective of farming Mog, you're better off creating a fresh starter character account, a fresh starter account character for each event that you run per week, because then you'll get one of those chests that has this champion gear and unlock an additional appearance. If you're trying to farm residual memories for items that you actually want to like acquire, like if you wanted, let's say you wanted to do like a pet, right? Then you're going to be in a better situation. Then it's going to make more sense to just do them all on one character, right? Because you need to save up 6,000 of them. But if you're just doing it for pure transmog, I would actually rotate through, because each event that you complete on this character will give you a bonus item. Plus you'll get 2,000 currency anyway, which is enough to buy an item back in Dalaran. All right, let's see. This, sorry gang, I cannot imagine how confusing this must be for those of you watching the stream, because I'm having a hard time keeping track of which character is doing what. All right, on this character, we need to decide between Frost and Fire. Since no one said anything in chat, you know what? We are going to, or should we go Arcane? I think we're gonna keep this character Frost. I have another mage that I'm leveling, that I leveled in Fire, so we'll keep this mage in Frost. And let's go ahead and open, and there we go. We unlocked the transmog for the cloth boots, as well as got a nice eye level 493 piece of champion gear for when this character hits level 70 in like 2 hours, maybe more of farming. The other important thing is that we also got more of these memories of Kalimdor, and if you're playing a starter account, you should be able to unlock the heirloom as well. So depending on what your setup is, even if you're playing this game completely free to play, that's definitely one of the items that you can unlock, right? I don't think on these starter accounts you can buy any of the to buy the mount, because it requires level 25 to use, so there's no point picking that up on a starter account. I suppose you can buy these 32 slot bags and 30 slot bags, so if you are free to play, that would be a huge upgrade. And you can buy the pets, right? There's no eye level requirement on those. Unfortunately, the gear, you can have it drop at an eye level that's suitable for you to equip, like this piece right here, right? This dropped at eye level 14. So if you're playing on, let's say, a level 20 twinked out character, you can definitely get some nice items to drop at your eye level, and they can roll things like indestructible, and they can roll bonus stats as well. But of course you can't, but unfortunately you can't buy anything off the vendor. It would have been kind of nice if these items would have been, if these items would have, like, you could buy them scaled at the vendor, because I think that's how time walking works, unless I'm mistaken, where you can just, it will cost you the same amount, you'll just get it scaled down to your eye level, right? That would have been kind of cool. But honestly, if you're running enough of the Radiant Echoes events, then you will probably gather most of the pieces that you need in any case. All right. Now, the other thing that we wanted to test out on this starter account is whether we have access to the Warbank. I'm almost 99% certain that we don't. And even if we did, we'd have to log out our other characters to access the Warbank. But let's test it out anyways, right? All right, this character we are planning on taking back to Valdrakken, actually. We need to turn in the quest on this dude, and then we can hearth back to Valdrakken and craft bags until the end of the stream. What is this? Lingering memories. Why is there a map pin there? In any case, let's go ahead and turn in this quest and take our residual memories. And then we're gonna hearth to Valdrakken, or we don't have our hearth set in Valdrakken, so we won't hearth to Valdrakken. All right, this guy we were going to take over to the bank to see if we have access to the Warbank. I'm assuming we don't. Let's go ahead and switch off all of our bag add-ons here, because I think that's messing us up a little bit. Yeah, so this is saying that it's temporarily disabled by Blizzard, but I think what's happening is just, yeah, we're logged onto another character. I think the add-on just needs to be updated. All right, let's log off this guy real quick, and we should be able to log off this feller as well. Where is the closest inn so that we have that instant log out? We don't waste 20 precious seconds on stream. I'm all about efficiency. Y'all know me if you've watched my stream. I don't waste any time when I'm playing this game. That's surely why y'all watch, is to just figure out the absolute most time efficient way to do everything in the world of Warcraft. Because it certainly does not take me 3 hours to level a remix character when it's supposed to take like 2 hours. That's sarcasm. All right, we're logged out of both of these characters, so technically this guy should be able to access the warbank at this point, but I have a feeling that because of the fact that it's a starter account, it's just going to show us this message in any case. Let's try logging off and back on to this character and seeing. I really doubt Blizzard gave us access to the warbank on our starter accounts. If they're not letting us transfer currency off of that character, I'm almost certain that they've blocked the ability for you to be able to transfer things through the warbank. All right, let's see. Technically, this guy's now the first one logged in. Oh my God, are you serious? Holy cow! Oh my God, I did not expect that to be the case at all. That is kind of shocking. That is wild. Oh my God. Free to play just got super insane. Wow, starter accounts are extremely powerful now, because you can basically buy anything. As long as you have one active account, you can deck out your starter accounts with more or less anything, right? Now, unfortunately, these pieces dropped as soulbound. Ideally, the item that would have dropped off of the boss if we were at max level would have been a warbound until equipped item. But that also opens up the possibility for us to use starter accounts to actually buy warbound until equipped gear, right? Now, there as always remains a chance that what Blizzard does is that they're going to nerf this, right? And they're going to make it so that starter accounts cannot access the warband bank. But I mean, they haven't said anywhere that you won't be able to do it, so presumably it's working as intended. I'm going to assume that it is working as intended. The other interesting thing that allows you to do is to, I mean, farm up warbound until equipped items on your starter account. You can, I mean, buy all of these items, right? Will it let us buy these? Even if we can't use them, can we buy them? Should I just try buying one of these items and seeing if we can do it? Oh, I'm in two minds. I am in two minds. Ooh, let me know in chat. What do you think we should do? Should we test it out completely and buy one of these items and see if we can trade them to our main account? Because if so, that's wild. That is absolutely insane if that is actually something we can do. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh my God, I'm still in shock. So we could basically just farm up residual memories on these starter accounts, buy eye level 480 gear, and then stick them in the warbank and transfer them over to whatever character we want. Similarly, we can deposit any gold we have. So if you do have any starter accounts that maybe you've maxed out gold on and you've been, not being able to get currency off of those characters, now's your chance, right? Wow, that opens up so many different possibilities. Because now at level 20, you can acquire all sorts of things off the auction house. You can buy your level 20 like gear. Just given how buggy the entire warbank system has been, I do have to wonder whether that is working as intended. Like if Blizzard does intend us to be able to like pick up, transfer mats or reputations and things to a starter account character. I wonder if we can port to like Dragonflight, if we can, move around a whole bunch. But that is wild. That is wild. Because essentially now you can, the limits are endless. You can enable time walking in, there's just so many things you can do if you can get currencies and different items off of a starter account, right? That is the meta. That is the meta then. That is the meta. Every Radiant Echoes event, you want to have 5 starter accounts logged on. You want to have, presuming you have 1 main account, right? I have 2 WoW subscription accounts, but essentially you want as many starter accounts logged on and completing, like getting credit for the final boss as you can, because you can buy rewards with all of them. Okay, so that's helpful to know. And I was able to run 3 instances of WoW with without the stream having too many issues. Let me double check OBS to make sure that we didn't have any crazy amount of dropped frames or anything like that. Doesn't look like we did. It looks like we were doing okay. So that is a game changer. The meta going ahead is going to be, you're going to want to create starter characters on a bunch of low pop servers so that you're not as time crunched, and use them to basically farm the Radiant Echoes event. Because the more accounts that you can have open, the more of the weekly quests that you can complete, get the 2,000 bonus residual memories, but then you also get 2 items that drop off the boss, so that'll unlock 2 of the transmogs for you, right? Then you can use the residual memories to buy Warbound Until Equip gear and stick it in your warbank and use that on your level 70s. So it's just wins across the board. Jeez, I really did not think that would work. That is wild. That is wild. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other things you can do with starter accounts now if they have access to the warbanks. I am a little bit worried that Blizzard figures this out and fixes it. You know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and test this out. Actually, let's go ahead and let's buy a piece of gear that we can afford on this character with the 2,000 residual memories that we have. Let's do something that has a transmog attached to it as well, because I want to double check that we do unlock both the transmog as well as the equipment piece as well. So should we do one of the cloaks, or should we do, I suppose we can do, is it filtered on? Okay, let's change the filter to all first and foremost. The great belt, defenders, bracers, we've not learned that. Clasps. So I think basically anything that's a bracer or a bracers, cloaks. Are there any other pieces that we can afford on just one, having just run one event? I guess trinkets, rings, and necks as well. But with those, I'm gonna wait on RNG. Let's do something that all of my characters would need, right? Let's do a cape, and let's do a crit and versatility cape, and let's see if we unlock the appearance. So we're doing it for 2,000. Oh, you've got to reach level 70 to actually buy those items. Okay, so we can't do those, but you can definitely buy these. So I guess that's how they've sort of gotten around it, right? You can't use your starter account characters to buy actual gear for your level 70, but you can definitely do things like buying the Lifeless Stone Ring. Let's go ahead and buy one of those. And you can buy some of these bags, which, okay, fair enough. But definitely that's how I'm going to be acquiring the pets, right? I'll probably do it on like 3 starter accounts and just pick up the pets. And I guess you could get the bags as well. Beyond that, not being able to buy gear is kind of a letdown, and you can't transfer the residual memories off. Okay, so the meta is still for farming appearances, for farming residual memory currency for pets, and what else? And for farming the items that you need in order to craft the heirloom trinket, the heirloom ring. The meta is still run it on as many starter accounts as your computer can handle that are linked to your battle.net account every time it's up. Which is janky as all heck, I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like it would have been better if they didn't have like a per character weekly quest. It was just every time any character runs the event, they get that many residual memories. Given how quick they were to like make changes in Mists of Pandaria, my hope is that they probably have some plans to buff the drop rate on these residual memories later on down the line to make it more rewarding so that it's easier to acquire all of the rewards that you want and more. But yeah, it seems like the meta is still going to be that though, right? Because you're still going to unlock the appearances. 2 per character for the first time you run it. You're still going to unlock 1 appearance every time you run it another time. You're going to get the items that you need to craft the heirloom ring that much quicker. Depending on how many starter accounts you have, you can basically gather all 20 in one round of yeah, I mean, you could be done with the heirloom ring in 3.5 hours, only playing 15 minutes within that time. And what else? I mean, what else would we... How else could we use this to our advantage? I think these ones are soulbound. Yeah, both of these pieces of gear are soulbound, so it's not like we can transfer that over. We need to wait for the refund time to end in order to be able to put this into our warband. That seems kind of janky. Is there a way to like make that go faster, or do we just need to log back on when... We may just need to log back on 2 hours from now and transfer that over then. But the Lifeless Stone Ring you can pick up on a starter account and transfer that over. That shouldn't be too much of an issue. And these items, I mean, you can just sell these level 70 items for gold and then transfer the gold into your warbank, which is not nothing. Is it worth doing all this effort and like creating new characters and running so many instances of WoW to just vendor some items for like 152 gold? Definitely not. Am I going to be doing that? Definitely not. But I am probably going to do this for the appearances, because there are a god-awful amount of appearances, and I do idly want the full sets because I really like that purple color tone, and I think it'll look really nice if my entire warband is decked out in that purple colored gear. So I probably will bother actually doing that. But yeah, wild. All right, let's hop back over to our main account. We're gonna log off of this account. All right, let's exit the game on this one. I don't think we're going to... Oh, the stream may be live for the next round of this event, so we may try and see how crazy we can get with it. All right, we needed to continue leveling this guy up. Let's quickly go through our characters and see what we need to do on each, what mats they have gathered, what they haven't, etc., etc. I also need to do a time rift on my main to complete the stupid Last Hurrah weekly quest. It's been bugged as all heck for me. I don't know if you all have had the same experience. If you have, let me know in the chat or the comments. Are the time rifts working for you? It just seems super broken for me. I'm also going to take a quick 30-second break and be right back. Alright, and we are back. And it looks like there is also a weak aura. Let's go ahead and install this. Oh, import string copied. I'm hoping this will also show us quest completion, because it looks like we can sort of do it with saved instances. This is a great add-on if you have a bunch of alts, by the way. It'll show you what your progress is, how many which weekly quests they've done, which ones they haven't, right? And so we can see we've done the Waterlord Searing Gorge quest on all 3 of our alts on this account, but we haven't done any of the other ones, right? That'll be handy to figure out which characters we still need to run that through. Let's go ahead and import this weak aura. Boom. Okay, yeah, so this just shows it to us right on the screen itself, as well as shows us the currency and everything like that. So I actually kind of prefer this to the Zames to remix, Zames to TV or whatever that add-on is called. Don't get me wrong, that guy has some great add-ons. Definitely give him some love. Check out his remix add-ons; are pretty dope as well. But at least for this event, I think this weak aura is definitely the superior one. It looks like I haven't actually done any of the what do you call it? I'm just gonna fix my weak auras real quick, because again, if we don't do interface stuff on stream, I feel like no one knows what's going on, right? Like, is it still an Adrel show stream, right? I don't want people getting confused. All right, so we have our utterly cluttered interface. I know it's an eyesore, y'all. I'm sorry. I can probably take this down and probably tidy up a couple other things. All right, on this character, we don't have any of the Warband Bank items because we haven't done any of the events on this character, I guess. This is my main anyway. I'm not really going to benefit too much from 480 eye level gear. I mean, maybe a neck. I think I have a higher eye level neck in any case. Okay, yeah, let's quickly check that champion gear, the 493 gear. I wanted to tell y'all what we could upgrade it to. So it looks like basically if you can farm up the crests for it, and you'll need Worm's crests, you can get rank them up all the way to 515, which is pretty good. The other gear ranks up to, is it veteran tier? Yeah, to 502. So if you are actively playing those characters and doing anything other than the Radiant Echoes event, you can get them in full 502. That said, eye level 480 is more than enough to take them into the War Within. I think the estimate was that you will not have to replace any of your gear until like level 75 or so, which is fairly decent, right? At that point, that means basically the first 5 levels of the War Within, you're actually over geared for all the quests and mobs and rares and things that you're doing, which will make those just go through super quick. All right, like I was saying, yesterday was a great day for transmog sales. I think a lot of players are back with the Radiant Echoes event going live, right? People want to. I was expecting that the pre-patch would be when a lot of people would be online buying transmog and things like that. And there was definitely a bump then, but definitely yesterday was a lot more. So if you're like me and you don't frequently post transmog, I would say today is definitely the day to do it. Hop on your transmog banker and get all of your transmog auctions posted, because as you can see here, we sold 69,000 gold worth of transmog, which is pretty good. I'm used to more often than not seeing like anywhere from 1 to 10k worth of sales in transmog on a regular day, like in a regular couple of days on in Dragonflight, at least the past couple months. That's how it's been. I've crafted these and forgot to send them to my banker. Hopefully the price hasn't dropped on them too much, and we can still sell them for a decent little bit of gold. Do we have anything else that we need to send to our banker? I don't think so. I think we can just log off this character now and go back to some of the alts that we've actually done things on. Where is my saved instances? There we go. Okay, daily quests. No, weekly quests. We've done Searing Gorge and Searing Gorge. We've only done Searing Gorge on all of these characters. I wonder if that's... I thought we did one of the other ones. Well, surely, I mean, we just did the freaking... Didn't we just do the Dustwallow Marsh one? on this character, so maybe it's just not showing up here. We may have to add them as a custom quest to saved instances. In either case, we have that handy little weak aura that's going to do everything for us. All right, I'm just going to quickly repost this transmog so I don't forget about it later on. And if you are watching live, drop a message in chat. Let me know what's up. Let me know how it's going. Let me know if you are going to be logging on to like 14 different starter accounts for each of the Radiant Echoes events. I think the maximum accounts you can have linked to your Battle.net account is 10. I definitely don't think I'm going to attempt to log on to 10 characters on stream because I think my graphic card will just explode while it's trying to encode, and I use my graphic card to do some AI touch-ups to my camera as well, like the cool moving effect thing and some of the other things as well. So even though it's a 4070 Super, which is decently powerful, I think running 10 instances of WoW, even on low settings, while trying to stream is probably not a good call. All right, so 69,000 gold that we got from here, but I'm more interested in seeing how much we have on our Dragonflight banker. I had a mini heart attack there because I saw the Trade Skill Master was telling me that I only had 23 million gold, down from 29 million gold. And I realized that's because I deposited 6 million gold into my war bank, which sort of explains the gap there and gives me a lot of relief. All right, so we've turned in the quest here. We've done the Syrian Gorge quest. We haven't done the Dustwallow Marsh quest on this guy, which checks out, I believe. Let's heart him back to Orgrimmar, and let's go open up all of our sold auctions. We also forgot to post a bunch of these items on the auction house, so that is what it is. All right, we're logged on to Direz here, and do we have Warband Bank? Yes, we do. All right, let's dump these items in here because we have 10 of these now, and I think with the other account we should have even more. Is there anything else we want to throw into our war bank? I think we equipped the gear pieces that we unlocked, so we don't need to do that just yet. Is there anything else? Deposit war-bound items. Well, that's just going to dump all of our mats in, and we don't really want to do that just yet. Eventually, once we save up enough gold to purchase more, if not all of the tabs, we will start using it for all of our mats. But all right, let's open up quickly all the expired stuff just so we can get a good feel of how much in sales we have that we're going to be opening up. If my math is roughly correct, I think we should hit 30 million gold today, which was my target for how much gold I wanted prior to the War Within. Not for any real reason, just because I like a nice round number, and 30 million seems as good as any. If you've been watching the beta streams, we've seen that it could end up costing as much as 100,000 gold to level just tailoring on an alt, right? Tailoring is especially an exception this time around because of the fact that that cloth is no longer going to be dropping for non-tailors. Like, only tailors will be able to farm cloth, which means the cloth is going to be very, very expensive. All right, now I don't think this character will have access to the war bank because we're logged in on the other character. So we'll have to log out of this guy, which we will probably do right now. Is there anything else I need to stick into the war bank? No, I think that's more or less it. All right, let's log off for a second on this guy, just so that we can access the war bank on this dude. We may have to log off and back in again, though, in order for it to show up, because I think we have enough of these memories of the Eastern Kingdoms in order to be able to craft that item at the very least. We may have to log off and then log back onto this. Oh, why did we not log off on this guy? That's strange. All right, let's make sure that they're logged off, and then we will log on here. And yeah, I mean, first and foremost, PvP gear has been selling like crazy, and that that's just because of, well, two reasons. A lot of players are coming back, right? They're leveling up alts through the Residual Echoes event, and they either want to jump into PvP or they want to jump into PvE. In either case, eye level 454 gear is a great starting point for whatever you want to do with an alt, right? Especially if you've leveled them up super fast during the Radiant Echoes event. And so that's one of the reasons why sales of the crafted PvP gear have just skyrocketed. I think I barely have any in stock right now. I literally just have the leatherwork ones. The other reason that we saw a huge increase in sales, and more importantly in selling price, that was my biggest concern, right? I never had an issue moving the items. The bulk of the issue was coming in the fact that the prices on my realms were just shot to all hell, right? Where they were selling for like 1,500 gold, which was barely any profit, was because of the fact that cross-realm trading was disabled. With the server resets and the maintenance yesterday, cross-realm trading is back online, and so that may be why, for instance, this piece is now selling for a lot less than it was just yesterday. I think at least on my server, what was happening was a lot of people were crafting on other servers and then, you know, selling on Illidan instead. And so of course when we had what do you call it? When we had cross-realm trading disabled, especially since they didn't really give us a heads up that cross-realm trading would be disabled, and everyone thought that the warbanks were going to be happening. Not everyone had all their stock on Illidan itself, and so I think that's where we got a bit of an advantage. But okay, so the first mailbox is about 366,000 gold, and again, as you can see, it's just selling that crafted PvP gear at some beautiful prices, right? 2, 3, 4, 5,000 gold a piece, and just volumes of them, right? Look, I mean, here you can see this is clearly someone just picking up a whole set for their alt, right? Including the trinket, including you know, the other items as well. But I mean, yeah, when you see a full set like this sell, that's just one person who's decked out their alt in full 454 gear. The only thing they need to then do is go find a weapon, and they can use up the they can just farm up the residual memories currency and pick up a weapon, and that character is now, you know, full eye level 454. If they're PvPing, the eye level goes up to 502, right? And that's a great starting point. You can go straight into rated battlegrounds with that, I'm fairly certain. All right, so that was the first mailbox. The second mailbox is 376,000 gold, and let's see how we're trending here. So we have another 6 million gold in the Warband bank, and we may pull that out just to have a nice little shot of us with 30 million gold on our character here, or on our account, I suppose. But essentially, if we hit 24 million gold on this tracker right here, that actually means that we have hit 30 million gold. And seeing as how we're already pretty close to that number, and we still have another 130 mails left to go, I think we're definitely going to smash that number, and it should be interesting to see what we need to recraft and what we need to stock up on again. All right, we're literally 20,000 gold away from having 30 million gold, and we have, without this even refreshing yet, we have another 236,000 gold here, and then we have another 15 mails on top of that, which is awesome. I am super stoked. We're hitting 30 million gold at long last. The number of streams that I have expected we would hit 30 million gold in, I think literally from some of my first few streams that I did like a year ago, we've been targeting 30 million gold. And so the fact that we just hit 30 million gold, heck yeah, is pretty awesome. We'll pull out the rest of the gold from the war bank in a second right now because I am that petty. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, the past couple days, it looks like, well, this major drop that we're seeing here is just because I deposited 6 million gold into my war bank. Oh wow, we overshot by almost 250,000 gold. Once we open this remaining 25,000 gold, we are going to be at 30 million and 250,000 gold, which is pretty awesome, and I think may actually be enough for us to. All right, let's withdraw 6 million. Oh, we can't withdraw 6 million gold on this guy because we're gonna be gold capped. I wonder if they changed the gold cap. All right, let's. Ooh, do I want to test it out though? Let's withdraw 5 million gold on this guy. Is that 5? 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's 5 million gold. All right. 29,241, and then we have another million here. So we are over 1 million gold. I just can't open it because this character is probably at gold cap. I think almost certainly this character is at gold cap. All right, let's mail some over to Direz. Let's just do that. How about that? And then we'll stick it back in the war bank anyway. $1 million gold. Gotta make sure I got the spelling right there. Direz. All right, let's pull 1 million gold out of the mailbox here, as you do. And then we'll head back to the warband bank and we draw 1 million gold from here. And with that now done, okay, it's not updated there. Jesus, TSM, do you have to mess around with me like that? Why is TSM not showing me? God dang it, TSM. Why are you doing me like this? 29,251. We have 9 million here, and we have 1.7 here, so it's just TSM hasn't refreshed. Oh, for Christ's sake. Let's try reloading interface. As usual, nothing can ever be simple for me on stream. God dang it. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, that's annoying. I know we have 30 million gold. It's just TSM isn't refreshing for whatever reason. At long last, there we go, 30 million gold. We did it, folks, we did it. We finally made it to 30 million gold, and heck, we did it well ahead of when we planned on doing it, which was the launch of the War Within is when we wanted to have 30 million gold buys. So we're ahead of schedule on our gold making, and a big part of that was this pre-patch event. And I guess just during the pre-patch as well, we sold a lot of stuff. And yeah, that's awesome. The top profit was on this, but that's not really accurate. Top sales, geez. Okay, we got to craft a whole bunch more of these. The Azure Weave Expedition packs are now at $24.99, and the mats are dirt cheap. All right, so we are going to lean into it, and we're going to craft a whole buttload of these because I guess a lot of people are probably leveling up alts. Azure Weave bolts are pricey. These have bumped up in price. Heck, even the regular Wildercloth bags, and you can literally learn this off the trainer at like on a fresh character. All you gotta be is like level 60, and you can learn this recipe right off the trainer and make a fat 71% profit. And these are gonna sell like hotcakes because the bougier amongst us are gonna pick up Azure Weave Expedition packs, but most people are just gonna slap a whole bunch of Wildercloth bags on all their alts and be done with it. All right, now, idly for the Azure Weave Expedition pack, so we need to acquire Azure Weave bolts as cheap as we can get them. I think it looks like the rank 2, oh wow, the rank 3s are actually cheaper than the rank 2s right now. So yeah, I think Trade Skill Master is completely messed up with the price calculations as usual, because it's not considering the cooldown on this, right? It's just taking the crafting cost. Now we can go in and configure that, but I think we'll just look at this here. And yeah, I mean, we're making an 80% profit of 1,000 gold per bag anyway. Let's do 100 of these. Let's YOLO it, folks. Let's hope so no one crashes the price between now and when we actually sell these. But we'll do 100 of these, and that's 100,000 gold that we're going to craft right now, and slightly more. It's actually closer to 1,100 gold per craft. And I wonder if we can get it even cheaper if we use some lower quality mats. All right. And I suppose we can also craft our own. I guess we also have 30 cooldowns of the Azure Weave bolts that we should do. We have 40 minutes until the next event. I think we're probably gonna have to end the stream before then anyway, because I have some personal stuff today that I need to get to. which is the reason why we're going to be ending the stream earlier. All right. We wanted to also look at the Radiant Echoes item, which is these ones. Oh, so we don't quite have enough. Or do we? Or do we? Dyrez has 5 in their bank. I think it's just double counting how many we have. Bank. Yeah, I think Trade Skill Master hasn't figured out that these are the same ones, although it's refreshed now, so maybe it has. And I'm just talking crap about Trade Skill Master for no reason. That doesn't sound like me. What are the items called? Memory of. Let's search everywhere. Do any other characters have any of these that they're holding on to? We've got 15 in the warband, we know that. What does the item description say? All right, let's do an everywhere search with this term instead. So we have 10 of the Kalimdor ones, and we have 5 of, that's not right. We have 17 of the Eastern Kingdom ones, and we have 10 of the Kalimdor ones. So we're still going to need to run a couple more of the events. But hey, if we can do it on starter accounts as well, geez, that just means we need to do one event per like 20 ults that we take in there. What did we want to do on Dyrez? Oh, we wanted to first of all head back to Valdrakken, and then we're going to craft our bags. And then what else? Is there anything else that we plan on doing in this stream? We looked through the war bank. I'm gonna have a video coming out about that, so that should clarify that a bit. Oh, we have been farming Loam Niffin rep, and we have been doing some Maruk Centaur rep grinding and stuff like that, just to unlock the other recipes. I also spent some time yesterday actually farming up Cobalt Assembly rep on my main. And we need to go let's go pick up that recipe on this character, because the whole reason I did it was to pick up the tailoring and leatherworking recipes. I do at some point need to grind out high reputation with these fellers, but that's not going to be right now. Like, I cannot be bothered to farm rep on stream for sure. And we may also not care enough to actually bother farming Cobalt Assembly rep all the way to high. It'll really depend on how much time it takes. Alright, we're not doing treasures or anything. Come on now. Come on now. Alright, let's head over to the Cobalt Assembly, pick up those recipes, and then we're going to craft all of our Azure Weave bags. Do we have enough mats for the Azure Weave bolts? I think we have enough that we can just, while we're down here, we can get that completed as well. And use up our cooldowns there. Alright, where are those NPCs? Here we go. There we go. Alright, let's check out our Cobalt Assembly abilities. Okay, good. So this is account-wide, the reputation buff. Quartermaster, hook your boy up. Alright, so we unlocked the blue silken lining, which we definitely want. And is that it? Jeez. We need high for the two ones that we mainly wanted, which was the Frosted Armor Kit and the Frozen Spell Thread. So that's annoying, to put it mildly. And but let's go ahead and learn that recipe, and let's see, because I think there was some decent concentration profit to be made here as well. Oh, we're missing Awakened Frost and Awakened Order. Can we? Yeah, we'll have our banker alt here. Buy that and just mail it over so that we can fly straight to should we do our Chronocloth cooldown as well? Do we need to do that? What's the profit? 97 gold. Jeez, for real? Let's say we used this and we used concentration, although 41 silver per concentration is dog water. Let's let's do this. So the options I'm using in recipe scan right now, by the way, and that I recommend is, of course, optimize reagents, focus on concentration value, and then for now, I would leave optimize sub recipes unchecked. It caused me some issues. Luckily, the dev let me know that this is kind of broken right now. And make sure that you've changed your expansion toolbar here. Like click on this expansion bar and make sure only Dragonflight is checked and not the War Within, because otherwise that will also mess up your search results here. All right, and so like I said, the blue silken lining is actually the best use of our concentration. We'll craft this anyways for the first craft bonus, although for tailoring, we are fully maxed out, so we don't really care. But this is the best use of concentration because and we need an Azure Weave bolts for this as well. In any case, basically what we will want to do, we can use up a lesser illustrious insight since we have a bunch of them lying around anyway. And then basically for each point of concentration, oh, we don't, okay, never mind. We don't even need to use up concentration if we're using up an illustrious insight. 138 gold per craft if we use up concentration. Oh, so this is a better use of concentration. All right, so we have what is our we only need 9 concentration to do this, and potentially we can optimize that even further by using rank 3 mats, which are going to be cheaper for the spool of Wilder thread and it's cheaper for the Azure Weave bolts as well. So I mean, basically, yeah. What's 1,000 divided by 9, and we'll get some of that concentration back as well because of our ingenuity. 1,000 divided by 9, we can do 111 of these. All right, that's going to be a lot of these to shift. Though it looks like there's 292 sold on average every day. Now, I do wonder whether the blue silken lining is considered BIS for any classes, because that would explain it having such high demand. What is a rank 2? What are the ranks 1, 2, and 3 do? I'm guessing they just give you more mastery. So at this stage of the expansion, people are probably going to pay 1,300 gold to have this. All right, we're not going to quite do 100, even though we could with the amount of concentration that we have. I just don't think I'm going to be able to move that many of them. So we'll do, you know what, let's do 10, and if those move, then we'll do more. Frozen Spell Thread. We need to grind out high Cobalt Assembly Rep, which I'm not super excited about, because it is pretty slow and it is kind of boring. You are just kind of farming mobs in bulk until they drop the rep. I wonder if doing this on, now that I have a second level 70 account, like a second Dragonflight level 70 character, I should say, like a level 70 Dragonflight character on a second account, I wonder if I can party them up together and have one of them just go around face rolling all of the mobs and both of them loot for twice the amount of reputation. I'm guessing that's not going to work super well, but it may. I will test that out off stream. If that is the case, then we may bother grinding out high Cobalt Assembly Rep, because the Frozen Spell Thread would be nice as well. And it looks like that is the second best use of our concentration. Now, unsurprisingly, of course, the Verdant Tether continues to be a good use of our concentration. But I mean, it's literally an order of magnitude less than the blue silken linings, right? The blue silken linings honestly are so good that we you know what? Screw it. We just overshot our gold making goal for Dragonflight. Anyway, let's do 20 of these. All right, so we're gonna do 20 of these. We need 30. We have 30 cooldowns for the Agile Weave bolts. Using concentration here is actively going to be a worse idea for us, so we're not going to bother with that. Chronocloth bolts, we could do the cooldown, but honestly, 30 times 100 gold, that's, I don't know, that's like, yeah, that's 3,000 gold in profit. I can't be bothered. Although we need the Chronocloth in order to craft our Chronocloth bags, which I think we do need to do a first craft for, so yeah. But the profits aren't great on this anyway. I mean, it's like, yeah, 309 gold profit per craft, which is super mid. Super mid. I wonder if we can get that higher by using, no, concentration we don't care about. This 324, what was it before? 319, 324, 327, 323. So 327 is the best that we can get on this. All right, we'll craft one of these. That's the other thing to bear in mind, by the way, is you want to, when you're crafting bags, you want to make sure that you're using these items here, the finishing reagents, right? Ironically enough, I was talking on the beta about how I felt like finishing reagents weren't of much use when Dragonflight was current content, and I stand by that statement. But the main reason was because they just cost too much, right? In most cases, in most of my experience, they ended up just costing more than they were worth. But at this point, the prices for them have come down enough that it is actually profitable to use them. So we can add another, what is it, 1101. We can add another like 10 gold per craft, which is another 1,000 gold if we're crafting 100 of these, right? By making sure that we have enough of these shimmering embroidery threads. So we will pick those up off of the auction house as well. I'm not sure if we can craft them ourselves. I believe shimmering embroidery thread. Oh, wow. We can make 14 gold profit on these as well. Okay. So we also need to do 49 crafts of these. But we'll mess around with all of this once we get back to Valdrakken. Right now, what we're going to do is we are going to head over to, well, first and foremost, a mailbox. And then we need to send over the mats that we need to do our Chronocloth cooldown, as well as our Azure Weave cooldown. And we're just going to quickly bang those out on this tune. It remains to be seen, actually, whether or not we want to set up any of the alts that we leveled to 70. We may start doing tailoring cooldowns on them as well. Because if we, I forgot about the fact that Azure Weave and Chronocloth are both going to be in fairly high demand due to the fact that they're used for the largest bags. So purely from a saving gold on mats approach, more than actually selling the cooldowns for profit, I may, all these other characters that I'm getting to level 60, getting to level 70, I may actually slap tailoring on them and have them start doing their cooldowns. Because I don't think it should take too long to get them to the point that they can do at least 10 or 20, Azure Weave Bolt cooldowns. And heck, we should check Dracothis as well, because it may just make sense for us to fling Dracothis cooldowns and do those as well. All right, now what do we need for the Azure Weave bolts and for the Chronocloth bolts? All right, Azure Weave bolts. We need 30 Awakened Frost. We have a bunch scattered over all of our alts, and this is the use case. I mean, as you can see here, they're scattered over all of our alts. Ideally, all of this should be in the war bank so that we're not wasting time buying mats constantly on different characters. But for now, we're just gonna manually buy these. All right, Awakened. What did we need? We need 30 frost. And here's how you can tell I feel like I think I'm balling, because I'm not even checking what the rousing costs are. That's just what happens when you hit 30 million gold, folks. You get cocky. Don't do it. It's a mistake. All right, Awakened Order, Awakened Bolts, Vibrant Wildercloth Bolts. We need more of them, don't we? We need Vibrant Wildercloth Bolts as well. These may actually be profitable for us to craft ourselves. I just don't know if I can be bothered to. Okay, no, never mind. It's not. So we'll just pick up. You know what? Screw it. Let's pick up 180 of them. I don't even know if we're getting a good price on these. We may not. This may be more expensive than it usually would be, but I don't think so. All right, so that's our Azure Weave Bolt mats done. We need Chronocloth Bolt mats. We need Awakened Air. Awakened Air, and we'll pick up 30 of them. Right, and then we need more Awakened Order, which is hardly surprising. I feel like Awakened Order goes into anything decent. So we'll pick up 30 more of them. Realistically, we don't need to actually buy the full quantities of these because we will proc resourcefulness on quite a few items, which will mean that we have leftovers, but that's fine. I'd rather just do this once and not have to go back and forth between these two characters. No, we almost sent it to our main, which we don't want to do. Oh, I wanted to try sticking them in the warbank to see if we can craft directly with them from the warbank. We can test that some other time. It's not a super pressing matter, I suppose. Why did we not post any of our... Oh. I guess the way we're calculating it in TSM, these are below our profit margin. Huh. Resilient wrist straps. Oh, that's these ones here. All right, these, I mean, this I'm not gonna, I think we can still probably sell it profitably, but most likely what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna wing them onto another server through the warbank and try and sell them there for a higher price. These ones I actually crafted for the characters that I was planning on leveling from 60 to 70, but it turns out that with the Radiant Echoes event, they ding level 70 before I can even bother getting them all of the gear that they need. And so realistically, the 61 leveling gear is kind of pointless for my uses. But again, I'll try and sell them on another realm where we can hopefully sell them slower, but for a higher profit margin. All right, let's go ahead and open up all of our mail here. And then we've got to do our cooldowns. Now, do we want to put any finishing reagents? No, we don't want to use up illustrious insights on these. Ingenuity, we could. Well, we're not using it. Yeah, we're not using concentration anyway, so ingenuity's pointless as usual. 21% ingenuity is pretty dope, though. And will mean that we can... If we're able to sell through those blue silken linings, then we should be able to craft like 150 of them, I think, which is pretty lit. All right, we're at the Chronocloth bolt table. We've got to equip that. Do we have a file of quick hands? We don't. Let's go ahead and buy some more of those and stick them on the... And, well, ideally we should stick them in the warband bank, but for now we don't have access to the warband bank from this character, so we're from the other character that we were logged on to. So we're just gonna mail them over. Dyrez, yes, done. All right, I can't be bothered to hit the mailbox, and we have 43% bonus crafting speed anyway, so I don't think it should take too long to do our Chronocloth cooldowns. Let's have the craft results. Oh, these are all going to craft at quality 2 because inspiration no longer exists. The only other potential upside that we have on any of these is the resourcefulness procs. All right, that's our protein shakedown. So we're hoping on basically multi-craft procs and resourcefulness procs for any additional profit. So yeah, so instead of 3,000, we made 4,000 gold. Yippee. Woohoo! All right. Let's go ahead and favorite the blue silken. What is going on here? Why is this favorited? Is there any way we can make gold with this? No, this is turned trashed here. Let's unfavorite that real quick, and let's get our new buddy blue silken lining up here. And do we have verdant tether favorited? Well, we should. It's a gold maker for us. And then the other item that we wanted to favorite is the Chronocloth reagent bag. How is that for a drum roll? All right, and these we're gonna craft with the shimmering embroidery thread, but we'll do that once we're back in Valdraken, because I can't be bothered to figure out how many I need and all right now. So we have to fly over to or can I use this little dragon teleportation thing? I unlocked the teleporter things, but I haven't actually used them yet, so I don't know how they work exactly. Ancient waygates, these things. Oh, I guess it can port me here. Why isn't there one in here though? I feel like with all this arcane nonsense that they have going on here, at the very least they should be able to like port me directly in here, right? But I guess the cobalt assembly is better than nothing. At least saves us a little bit of flying, and I think then there's like a 4-hour cooldown. So that's not great, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's on cooldown. Oh, 30 minutes. That's not too bad. I think they nerfed it though. I think it used to be like 4 hours or something ridiculous like that. All right, we got to head to the Azure archive so that we can complete our Azure Weave cooldowns, and then we're heading back to Valdrakken, and we're going to craft bags, and we're going to craft optional reagents, and just have a good old time. And while we're flying around, actually, we should do the exact same check for leatherworking, because I actually haven't figured out what some good concentration dumps are for leatherworking, and ideally I want to have at least one concentration dump between now and the end of the expansion for each of my professions. And then of course, roughly 4 days, right? I think it's about 4 days before the War Within's early access, we want to completely stop using up our concentration and save up all of our concentration for War Within crafts. All right, Lambent Armor Kit. We'll get that once we unlock the Loam Niffin thing. And then Verdant Conduit. But Verdant Conduit is significantly less profitable. And I think that's just because these Dreaming Antler fragments are freaking expensive. And Dreaming Essence's prices have come down like crazy, but Runed Rithbark has also stayed up decently high. Frosted Armor Kit, that we need high Cobalt Assembly. So Shadow Flame Tempered Armor Patches seem to still be what we're gonna need to sell. We haven't sold them in like 23 days, and the price on these is dog water. So I'm not super excited about the idea of using it up on that. The Verdant Conduit seems a little bit more appealing. And per point of concentration is more valuable. Though I feel like some items like the Shadowflame Tempered Armor Patch, like I don't even care about simming or like BIS or whatever, but I feel like I've heard about the Shadowflame Tempered Armor Patch a lot more than I have the Verdant Conduit, for instance. But that's also because I play a Windwalker Monk, and so it was at one point at least considered BIS for them. I wonder if we'll have more success with using up our concentration on something like Earthshine Scales or Infurious Scales or some of the other items that we need to craft our PvP gear. Speaking of, I think the blue crafted pieces are probably come down a bit in the amount of profit. There were a couple days where I was selling these for like 500 gold profit each. Check your realm though. It may very well still be extremely profitable to sell those on your realm. It could just be that Illidan itself got slammed and that's why. Ooh. Crafted PvP gear. Not looking good. Not looking good on Illidan. Yeah, the cross-realm sellers are back is basically what happened there. We may still craft some of this gear to sell on other servers, but I think being able to sell it on Illidan seems a bit unlikely. I am going to try and keep a bit of a stockpile for 19 days from now, though. So probably I want to buy mats in like another week or two once mat prices come down a bit, because I have a feeling, well, not I have a feeling, I know for a fact, let's be honest at this point, that the second all of those characters, right? I mean, I have at least a dozen level 70 remix characters. There's going to be a lot of other players that have done the exact same thing, and they're going to want to deck out their characters in some sort of like usable gear, right? We don't know what eye level you're going to get from remix, but there's a good chance that it's like 343 or something really, really basic, right? Those players are going to be more than happy to buy a token and then deck out their character in eye level 451 gear that they can use to quest through the War Within and get them through all the War Within stuff that they want to do on those characters. So I expect to see a huge spike in demand, and hopefully as a result of that, a huge spike in prices as well on the crafted PvP gear, much closer to the remix characters going live. All right, I'm going to take a quick break right now, and then we are going to get back to our gold making, and then we're going to end the stream a little bit early today at about 6 p.m., so about 45 minutes from now, which, funnily enough, I think... Oh, no, never mind. In 15 minutes, we got to do another round of the event, and then we'll end the stream. All right, I'm going to be right back. All right, we are back. So we basically have 10 minutes to, well, slightly less than 10 minutes to complete everything that we need to in terms of crafting before we need to get back on the grind for, what do you call it, the event. All right, what did we need to do for this? Absolutely nothing, right? We can just hit create all. We have our best gear equipped. We wanted to use the quick hands potion. Not sure how much of a difference it's gonna make, but we've got 30 crafts ahead of us, so we might as well. All right, let's fly back over to the Azure Loom, and let's use our little potion and go ahead and create all of our Azure Weave bolts. I should have probably done this before the break so that we would have come back to a neat stack of Azure Weave bolts in our bags, but I didn't because I'm just not that good at streaming yet, guys. And I see we have someone else joining us on Twitch. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? We are quickly completing some gold making stuff. We finally hit 30 million gold on this stream. We've done 2 rounds of the Radiant Echoes event so far on stream, and we're going to be hitting the 3rd one in a minute here. We found out some pretty cool stuff on stream. Not only did we figure out that basically each character that you run the event on will unlock 2 transmog items for you the first time they run any of the events. But also we figured out that you can do it on starter accounts, and so with the starter accounts you can actually buy the pets. You can farm up the items that you need for the heirlooms super quick, as well as you can buy the 32 slot bags. Now I wouldn't recommend doing that because 34 slot bags are pretty cheap. But hey, if you have a bunch of alts and you're going to be running them through the Radiant Echoes events, right? If you have a bunch of starter accounts linked to your Battle.net account as well, I mean, it's basically more rewards for the exact same amount of time. So that's a really, really cool little thing we discovered. And I don't know if, I mean, it works in general, right? It's very much working intended that you unlock those transmogs on starter accounts. The thing that appears like it may be unintentional, or I mean, honestly, with the amount of time Blizzard has spent fixing the Warbank system, I would hope that by now that they've sorted out all of the little nicks and things that they want to. But it's crazy that starter accounts have access to the Warbank, and that opens up a whole world of possibilities. I'm sure brighter minds than mine will come up with the best uses for that. But the way it's looking, that seems pretty OP, if we're being honest here. All right, I'm trying to figure out what the best way for me to get to Valdrakken will be. I think I will just have to go to Dalaran, port to Org, port to freaking, what do you call it? To the bloody port to Orgrimmar, then port to Valdrakken, and then I'll have to come back the entire way as well. Ooh! And we just got this mount yesterday. I've actually put together a video on how to get the Wandering Arden Doe, which is this mount here, and it basically involves finding a rare 6 times in Korthia. But I'm excited to see that it's a dragon riding mount, or a sky riding mount. That's really cool. That means I'll actually get to use this mount a lot more, which I am excited about. All right, we have 10 minutes, during which time we are going to try and quickly craft some bags. Although we should probably just start getting set up for the Radiant Echoes event, because we're probably going to end the stream after that event. There's no tailoring table here. I don't know why I exited the portal room. And I think my mount also abandoned me, so I am stuck. Oh no, never mind. My mount's still underneath me. All right, let's unmount. And then let's just run over to Valdrakken. We did all of our Azure Weave bolts. We need to buy more Azure Weave bolts to craft all of those bags that we need. And we also need to do all of our shimmering embroidery threads. All right, let's get this character situated at the very least. Let's just use the Dalaran Hearthstone. It's Dragonflight up next. Actually, we should idly do this on a character that hasn't done the event yet. Let's do that. Who hasn't done any of the events? For this guy, I think we are just going to do it on this character because of the fact that Dragonflight's is the last one that we need for this character for the week. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, basically the Radiant Echoes event is now live. It is the War Within launch event. So if you haven't played through any of these launch events in the past, basically the way it works is you will, for right now, it's every 90 minutes, one of these zones is up where there's a little event that runs through, and basically you complete different objectives within the event, and then finally take out a old boss from World of Warcraft, like Onyxia or Ragnaros, or I don't remember who's in Dragonflight, but there's someone in Dragonflight as well. And that gives you 2,000 of the currency, but also gives you 1 to 2 items that you can use on your character that will unlock transmog for your characters. All right, you know what? I haven't logged onto this monk before, and they are an alliance character, but we're gonna do the event on them instead. They're level 60, so they will get gear that's scaled down. Which we're not thrilled by. We're not thrilled about that. Anyways, we'll figure it out. I may not actually have enough time to craft bags before the event, because we need to get our starter accounts online as well. Should we just try more starter accounts, maybe? Should we try seeing how many starter accounts my PC can handle? Oh no, the Azure Weave Expedition Pack prices came down while we were doing this, so it is now a lot less profitable than it was just a few minutes ago. But that's just because of the fact that our TSM data isn't fully up to date. All right, we're not going to run off of that because that's what we did last time, and we fell into water, which was not pleasant. Now, I don't know why they put that on our toolbar, because when am I ever going to want to switch flight form? Oh, we got to go outside. So falling into the water wasn't the worst thing that could have happened to us, I suppose. All right, and we figured out where the portal is in Stormwind to get over to Dalaran as quickly as possible. And that is right in the trade district right here. And the portal is located, I believe, right here. Boom. Look at that. Stuck the landing. Oh, you love to see it. What did we want to do? Oh, yeah, we wanted to check if the Azure Weave expedition packs are still worth us crafting. Expedition pack. Oh, we're down to 216 gold per craft. I think we can increase that by very minor amounts. Very, very minor amounts. Yeah, 250 gold per craft. I mean, it's still worth doing because these are going to sell like hotcakes, whatever you do. Right? I mean, we can just overcut. That's what we probably will end up doing. We'll just end up crafting them and then overcutting. Yeah, and similarly, if you're playing any of the WoW content right now, I mean, these 385 tokens that are warband bound, I wouldn't be too precious with those, right? Because those, I mean, 385 isn't great in any case. But these 454 items, you know, the dream bound items, I would stick those in the Warbank and wait to see what drops you get from the Radiant Echoes event, and then decide which characters you want to give those 454 items to, right? Ideally, it would be characters that basically don't have any luck with the RNG on any of those other things. All right, so Radiant Echoes. We are in Dalaran, and what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the event zone, which is basically you come over to Dalaran, you go down here, right? You go into the center, the Chamber of the Guardian. You hop on the little portal thing, and then you roll your way down to the room here. Right? I think this quest is once per character, as it were. And then we're gonna port over to Dragonflight, and we're gonna do the same thing on this character as well. Now, annoyingly, we just used up the cooldown on our Dalaran Hearthstone on this guy, so that's not optimal. And if you know anything about the Adrel show, you know that we strive for optimal everything always, right? That's what everyone always says about me trying to do things in this game, is that I'm super optimal. Only darkness. We pick up the quest. Let's pick up this item as well. Why not? And we want a dragon riding mount, please. Come on now. And then I actually haven't done this quest yet, so this is gonna be a first time for both of us, but essentially what you want to do is you want to fly over to where the quest tells you the boss is going to spawn. So yeah, it was the Lich King was the third boss that was the answer we were looking for. And it looks like this is the spawn point. So we're just going to basically camp this character out here. And then we're going to try and see how many starter accounts we can get before my computer starts glitching on me. So from here on out, the stream may be less stable. Apologies if that's the case. If the stream goes down, we may not come back. So, because I was planning on wrapping up around now anyway. So if that's the case, thank you so much for joining the stream. Thank you so much for watching. And keep an eye out on my YouTube channel and my Twitch, my TikTok, all the things, because I am working on editing a bunch of other videos that we plan on both about the events, about mount collecting, like all the different things that I do in this game. We plan I'm editing videos for all of them, so keep an eye out for those if you're interested in any of the content that I just mentioned. All right, let's get this guy parked over here as well, and then he's done for the week on the Radiant Echoes event. Now, where is... Okay, we gotta hop over here. All right, we've got 1 minute and 55 seconds. We've got to get this guy in as well. Where is the level 10 that we created? You know what? Let's create a fresh level 10. Let's create another level 10 and do this completely from scratch. We'll do it on a Volpera because I know exactly where they spawn. We'll just do the exact same thing. Oh, I don't want to do it on Illidan though. Let's do it on another realm that is like less populated. Let's Although I suppose, I think what we figured out was that it didn't really matter what server you did it on, right? But okay, let's pick one of these new player servers, Agwin, and all we're gonna do is create a character, standard. We want a Volpera. We'll make him all right, let's make him a monk because I want to first farm the leather set. So that's also actually important to note probably, is that ideally these starter account characters, you want to create them in the class that you want to farm the transmog for. Now, I have a strong feeling I'm going to regret this because of the fact that I'm just going to have too many instances of WoW open, and I myself am going to get confused as to who has tagged the boss and who has not. I wonder if we can... Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, let's do this. Okay, this is surely not going to go tragically wrong. Yeah, we may lose the stream. At this point, we may lose the stream. I am really, really tempting fate, and more than fate, I'm really putting my graphic card through this. But we're gonna try running 4 instances of WoW and see how we do with that. This is goofy. This is goofy. And for those of you who may be concerned that we're multi-boxing, and that I know a lot of people don't like multi-boxing and don't like it when people are multi-boxing, this is completely within the terms of service what we're doing here, because we are manually doing everything on all of these different accounts. We're not casting keys or doing any of the things that Blizzard wouldn't want us doing, and that's just it. Oh, so this guy actually, well, we can actually do this on our paladin, because it looks like this paladin does have, this paladin is level 19. Oh, I think we're about to, okay, this is just the congealed memories. Thank the good Lord. Why don't we have all of our windows open? Yeah, I definitely should have set this up prior to attempting to do it like this. Where's our 4th WoW instance? I know we have a 4th one. We have 2 characters that are parked here. Memo bank. No, this is one of the dummy characters. This is the, yeah, this is our 2nd account. Okay, so we do also have this in this window for some reason. Boom, 4 accounts of WoW. Let's go. This is so goofy. If you're watching if you're watching live, let me know in chat if you consider this degen or not. I mean, it's hard to argue that it's not degen. We're literally playing the game 4 times at once. But again, for any of you who may not appreciate the fun that you can have with multi-boxing, this is